And 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We like color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers. Find all the care you need at care.com. We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to customink.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our custom ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at customink.com.
So, you need a suit, a tux even? Maybe you got invited to a fancy party, or you're someone's plus one, and the last time you resorted to a warehouse, you didn't like the way you looked. This time, get a better suit from the Black Tux, and we'll deliver it with time to spare. Try it on. If the fit isn't right, we'll replace it right away, for free. And on the big day, you'll look as great as you feel. With the Black Tux, it's easy to look your best for every occasion. TheBlackTux.com. Formal wear for the moment.
Is brought to you by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
Oh, yeah, we have a Super Bowl. That's a repeat of one from 4 years ago. Welcome to the show, everybody. January 29th, Monday. Michael K., Don LaGreca, Peter Rosenberg with you until 6:30. Yeah. It'll be the Chiefs against the 49ers. Could have been different. It wasn't.
Could have been.
You know what?
Could have been.
And
Would have
shame,
been.
First of all, shame on me and Peter. Shame on us.
Yep.
I even said on Friday I'd be beating myself up. I knew I had to make up ground on Don. And I said, let's say the Chiefs are going to lose. Let me take what an idiot, what a moron. I picked against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Idiot. And I expected Lamar Jackson to play well in a big game. It didn't happen.
That's the thing that's got to irritate.
Oh, so irritating.
Because, we could say all we want about Patrick Mahomes, and he's great, and he certainly is. But they won a championship game, scoring 17 points and 0 in the second half. That should be good enough to win. If I told you going into the game, the Chiefs would be held to 17 points, all of them in the first half, what percentage chance would you give the Chiefs winning that football?
It's a fair point. In other words, you're saying we should be saying I'd do it again?
I wouldn't. See, unlike Don, I would not do it again.
Yeah, I
learned my lesson. I'm a moron. How could I have ever picked against the Chiefs? How?
You know why I'm most annoyed, Michael?
Tell me why.
All week, I said too many points for the Chiefs. If it was under 3, I'd like the Ravens, but it's over 3, so I like the Chiefs. Chiefs. We get through our Fort and Voss segment, and I just was like, what am I doing? The Ravens are winning this one big. The Chiefs are done. And I changed my pick on the Friday. I deserve to lose it. I wouldn't do it again either. I'm sick.
And I fell victim. Okay, Thuney was out, and he's so important to them. And they just plugged in somebody else who did a good job. Gay is out. Who's going to be the guy who actually mirrors Lamar? They found somebody else. Spagnuolo's a great defensive coordinator. He comes up with plans to stop people. And I fell victim to it. I fell victim to the injuries. It's stupid, and I feel dumb, and I feel lesser for it. And now I've got to have the ultimate humiliation of growing a Pusick. It's just disgusting.
So when was the last time he shaved?
Well, I'm going to be on a hot stove tomorrow, so it's got to be.
So it's always something.
It's got to be a sweet spot to start it.
It's never going to happen.
Don't you worry about it.
Wait. I thought you were already starting.
No, I shaved last week. It looked. I
Peter,
didn't.
it's not going to happen. Because, all right, he had to shave because he's going on the
Why do you have to shave for hot stuff?
Because I'm going to be on TV on Yes.
But they know.
But you're on Yes every. It's not. I mean, no offense. It's not the Grammys. Like it's
better than the
a hot
Grammys.
it's a hot stove show.
Yeah, I know. It's on Yes. This is an organization that doesn't let their players grow hair. You think they want their announcer with a Pusick?
But we're on Yes every day.
But this is different.
Exactly.
They're eavesdropping on a radio show.
Ray Rowe.
Well, all I'm saying is it's not going to happen.
See,
There's going to be too many times he's going to have to shave, Peter. And his hair does not come in quick like mine does.
Well, you think you're more of a man than me? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know why you took it that way. Sounds like you're a little sensitive, a little defensive about it.
Defensive,
All I'm just saying is that I grow hair faster than you. If I shave tomorrow, I'll have a 5 o'clock shadow by
Because
Friday.
you're an ape.
Whatever. The point is, it takes you a long time. Your hair is going to come in gray and white, so people aren't going to notice it on TV right away anyway. There's going to be a hot stove, Peter. There's going to be some
only one more
appearance
hot
during
stove
spring.
after this, and then
They
I am
say
not
that,
on camera
and then-
on Yes until
Right, and
opening
they get
day.
Bellinger, and there's going to be a big I got to shave because we're getting Bellinger, so we're going to.
Yeah,
I got
where
to
is this
shave
coming
then.
from that they're getting Bellinger?
I'm just saying it's coming from someplace, and I'm not even going by that. I'm just going by. They'll sign somebody, and there's going to be a dog and pony show that you're going to have to host. They're going to have to shave there. They're going to need you on, sports money. You're going to have to shave
Why
there.
would I be on sports money?
Israeli basketball today is going to do a case feature. Shave then.
Would you mind if I put a merkin on my chin?
I just. Why do I have a feeling, Peter, that by the time we get to baseball season, he will have not paid this bet off?
It's off to a rough start. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie about it, but
he shaved today for a hot. Nobody would have noticed.
But yes, they would have noticed. Also, it's my
Whatever he
birthday.
says,
I
he
don't want to
didn't
go.
shave.
I don't want to celebrate my
see?
63rd year with a merkin on my
then
chin.
Don't lose the bet.
I didn't want to.
Well, all these things need to be factored in, Michael. It wasn't like you thought you were winning this thing the last 12 weeks. It was basically in play that it was going to be between me and you on who was going to have the Pusick. And by the way, for people, and I think this is important to point out, because not everybody consumes the show on Yes.
Right,
on
we're on
TV.
social media.
That
Yeah.
the Pusick is basically like an Abraham Lincoln beard.
It's a
just
goatee
on the
without.
chin.
It's a goatee without.
Well, it's a literal goatee. See, people always make the mistake that when you have the mustache, it's a goatee.
But it's not a literal goatee because it's not really on the chin. It's below the chin. A goatee goes from the lip down around the bottom of the chin. This is the most unusual looking thing I've ever seen.
The Pusick is the best way to describe it.
Yeah. It deserves a word like Pusick.
Right,
Right.
Anthony, have you ever dealt with this? Like you remember?
Yeah, like when I was in first grade.
Yeah, right.
With toddlers.
Welcome to our humor.
Wait, they said pew. You would catch a pew and sick.
Yeah, you're not original.
But you had a Pusick when you were in first grade?
No.
No, that's my last name.
Gotcha.
It's
So
Pusick.
that's how
We're
people
breaking
say
down
it.
the name into two words:
Well, you remember-
pew and sick.
Well, it's like that episode of Seinfeld where George breaks down manure. And he's like, it's not that bad a word. It's got ma and it's got newer. Those are both good things. Anthony is the opposite. Pusick has pew and sick.
Right, Pusick on its own is a tremendous human being, professional, grade A name.
Grade A man, too. But you take it or separate, it's tough.
All right, so let me get back to that game for a second. Something that sickened me. All right? So Zay Flowers is an unbelievable receiver. And I'm glad it happened. Because the more you allow this kind of behavior in football, it is going to rise up and bite you. And it bit the Ravens. You can actually say that what Zay Flowers did with the taunting and then the ignominious fumble going into the end zone cost them the game. He probably doesn't fumble if he doesn't get caught. How do you celebrate like that when you're down in the game? Because these guys are not taught to behave like professionals throughout the year. What, coaches don't think it's going to come up and bite them? How do they not know not to do that? How do they not know? And then he's crying on the sideline. Really? You thought it was a good idea to be preening over the defender? You really thought that was a great idea? You deserve everything that you got, and so does John Harbaugh. He didn't stop his players from doing that all year because they think, I'll lose the player if I stop them from celebrating. Nobody's saying don't celebrate. But if you're down in a game and you make a catch, you didn't even score, who are you to be standing there pounding your chest over a defender? It was a proper call, and then karma being what it is, the guy that he did that over, Snead, punched the ball out, and it was a fumble, I think, that cost the Ravens any chance to win the game. They were disgraceful, and that was a disgraceful thing for Flowers to do. How do you reconcile that? How do you reconcile that if you're the Ravens? Maybe next year you teach you guys you can't do that?
Well, because we'll get into Dan Campbell and those decisions when we talk about the next game. But it almost seems like, well, that's who I am. I celebrate. I love the game. That's just who I am. Like being undisciplined now is an excuse because it's who you are. And I like the fact when Snead got up after he got pushed and had the ball in his face, he just got as if to say, well, no, I'll get mine. Don't worry about it.
He didn't
have your fun. Don't worry.
He did not even care.
Yeah.
He did not react. Michael, the fact that he was the one who punched the ball out, it almost makes you think, you don't even know. There's a chance that he had an extra tiny bit of effort just because he was angry.
See, that's what I would always ask these guys. What is the benefit of doing that? I know in the moment it might feel cool, but like, what's your end game? All athletes have their end game. Like you work hard. The way
I think they become more famous.
That's it. That you'd rather become more famous than just do your job in the ultimate sport where probably 50 million people are watching you. And if you just do it the right way, score a touchdown, win the game, you'll become famous. But down, you make a catch, and you got to do that to try to get your fandom.
I mean, think about it.
Your fame.
That play, this play that Snead makes afterwards to punch the ball out before the end zone, Michael, that's a play where if you were just a quarter of a second behind, that ball crosses the goal line, you don't get it. You never know. You needed to give a guy a little bit of extra more motivation.
And also, can you explain to me, it wasn't fourth down. Why are guys reaching out where the ball could be punched out? Why are they doing that? Just live to tell another down. What are you doing?
Well, people always want to cross the goal.
But I understand it. So on fourth down, I understand you sell out. But if it's not fourth down, what are you doing?
It's a risky play. I mean, I do feel like it happens more than ever now. It's like this feeling if I just reach out and get it over the goal line, but you're right.
And believe me, I am not sitting here being the old guy. You want to celebrate, celebrate. I hate the first down thing. As I said last week, I would break a guy's arm and suffer the penalty. But I understand. Okay, you're going to do that. You just did something good. You shouldn't do it if you're ever down. But to do that, that's not celebration. That is rubbing it in opponent's face. But the NFL wants these guys to be themselves. And you know what? It cost you 15 yards, and it probably cost you the game. And can we finally put to bed, there is no comparison between Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. And until Lamar Jackson steps up and has a big game in a big spot, stop. They had to sneak by the Texans, too. They played them 10-10 in the first half, and then they finally woke up in the second half.
Just missed too many passes. That just became like the theme of the game, like him just frustrated with himself because he missed wide open receivers. He was just off. Now, there's no question he's exceptionally talented. And he throws better than he did earlier in his career. And he's probably going to win a second MVP award. But if you want to win a championship, quarterbacks win championships with their arm and their accuracy. Think of all the great scrambling quarterbacks. Did they ever win? Or the ones that could throw the ball? Patrick Mahomes has tremendous ability to run. But what ultimately wins him the game at the end of the day? His arm. You've got to be able to do it with your arm, Michael. You got to hit these receivers. That threat still has to be it. You can run till the cows come home. You've got to be able to throw the football incredibly well to be able to win in this league.
All right, so the Chiefs are in for the AFC. Their run, this is dynastic what they're doing now. It's amazing how good they are. Now let's go to the NFC game. The Lions had the game won at the half. And this has been dissected over and over and over again since all the morning shows on TV and everything on radio as well. The thing I don't understand about Campbell not going for the field goal to match the field goal that the 49ers had to start the half.
Right.
even the analytics are like a toss of the coin. It is not something so clear-cut that you have to go for it. It's that close. Don't you read the room? Don't you read the momentum shifting? The move there, you put points on the board. And people are, well, you got to celebrate the fact that's what he did to get them there. Well, you know what? These were not games to get you into the Super Bowl. Each game has a different weight attached to it. Well, what are you doing? You got to stop momentum. That was a moronic play by Dan Campbell. And you can't lean on the fact, well, that's what he does. Well, it's not smart. It's not a smart thing that he did.
Right. It's so frustrating, these analytics. And then I get inundated with people on Twitter telling me all these percentages. Read the room. If I'm the 49ers and I'm getting my head handed to me, I can't stop you. I'm down 2 touchdowns in my own building in the third quarter. You are driving for more points. I'm actually hoping you go for it on 4th down so I have some ability to try to climb back into this game. Because the game is played not on paper. The game is not played on a computer. It's not played by math. It's played by the emotion of the moment. You're telling me the 49ers didn't get something from stopping them on 4th and 2? And then they march right down the field and score. So instead of being down 17, they're now down 7 with all the momentum. And then once the fumble happened, game was over. Because now it's a boulder rolling down the hill, and there's no way the Lions can stop it. And it all started because you had to go for it on 4th down. Kick the field goal, go up 3 scores. And even if you miss the field goal, Peter, yeah, the 49ers would gain some momentum, but it's not like they stopped you. A missed field goal is on you. Now, if they block the field goal, it's a different story. But still, mentally, the defense is like, boy, we dodged the bullet there. But when you stop them on 4th down, even though it was a catchable pass, you still walk off the field. We stop them. And then the offense wants to come out and thank you for the stop by doing something special to support you, and that's what they did. Go up by 3 scores. And then the other thing I hear is, well, hey, wait a minute. He's aggressive. So all of a sudden you're telling him not to be aggressive?
That is the line. It's you live by the sword, you die by the sword. He's got to do it.
Then why did he take the points at the end of the half? If he's all about all gas, no break, he had a chance to go up 21 points at the end of the quarter. But he decided, I'm going to take the smart move, kick the field goal. But if it's all gas, no break, we chew knees off, then why not go for it on 4th and goal at the 3 and put the stake in him? He did the right thing. So there's not even any consistency in the
And also, let's talk about not just that 4th down call. Let's talk about the drive at the end of the game. You got 3 timeouts that it's imperative that you keep all 3 in your pocket, and then you run on 3rd down? Made no sense. The clock management was horrendous. And one other thing, people don't want to hear it because the Lions became the darlings of this country, and everybody wanted to see them get to a championship game for the first time since 1957. But you know what? They choked. They kept dropping passes. They choked. Jared Goff didn't choke. His receivers choked.
That's another. All day I kept thinking, this poor guy. Everyone said Goff's not going to be good on the road. It's too big a spot for Goff. And then late in the game, all the drops that you know when they start happening are the drops that happen when you lose. Between that and bad coaching, I really feel for Jared Goff. He didn't do anything wrong yesterday. That was a winnable game. And Don really may have won point God because it's so true. If you're really like, our attitude is we keep going. Why wouldn't you want to go up 28-7 going into the half? That would have been backbreaking. Honestly, they probably felt a slight win. Oh, we held them to 3. You just keep doing it. Otherwise, Michael, they did it a 3rd time. Even at the end of the game. Let's just be honest. Guys, there's 2 minutes left. You have 3 timeouts in your pocket. You know what I do? I pull up for a field goal.
Yeah.
I cut it to 7 and kick it deep. Let's play the game out. Instead, not only do they go for the score, they run on 3rd down, so you have to burn the timeout. Now you have to go to an onside kick, 2 for 41 for a season. Guys, the onside kick now is basically the equivalent of heaving a ball from the other end of the basketball court. It doesn't happen. It's not a real shot. The shot is to kick it deep with your timeouts, and because of stupid play calling, and quote unquote aggressiveness, and then they're just lucky, and so are Detroit bettors that they happen to pick it up on fourth down to cut it to 3.
Vegas's head must have exploded because the only thing to do there is to kick the field goal and try to get the ball back. But the argument is, well, you're that close, you got to get a touchdown at some point anyway.
But the time's the most valuable thing on the board.
Time is your big opponent at that point. Yeah,
and I love when because you'll hear this brought up too that the distance dictates. So like you said, they're so close, but we know how hard it is to be able to score touchdowns in the red zone because there's less room to defend. So really, the distance to the end zone shouldn't matter. Take the points, make it a one-score game. That's all you're concerned with. And the same argument, well, go for it on 4th and 2. It's so close. Peter, it's 4th and 3 the second time, but it's so close. Does it matter if it's that close if you're throwing on 4th down? Like, if you're throwing it on 4th down, does it matter if it's 4th and 2, 4th and 5? Most completions go beyond 3-4 yards. It should only be, you only should care about the distance if you're going to run the ball on 4th down.
And when you went to it on 4th down, right? After the 49ers had kicked the field goal, if you come back and put a field goal on the board, you've taken the starch out. You've taken the starch out. We answered you. We're still up by this. And instead, they gave the ball back. And listen, fortune played a role in this, too. Ayuk making that catch off the helmet of the defender, I mean, that's gigantic. It doesn't happen. Probably 8 times out of 10 it doesn't happen. So fortune was on their side. But I'm not throwing any roses at the 49ers. They could have lost last week. They could have lost this week. And I'm not backing off what I said last week, too, because a lot of people on our network are saying this. I was wrong about Brock Purdy is an average quarterback with great talent around him. I'm sorry. He is not a dynamic guy. He made some great runs, and I think they were really, really electric runs that helped them win the game. But you can't tell me that he has anywhere near the talent of the quarterbacks that were in that Final Four yesterday. He's just not that guy. He's a smart quarterback. He doesn't make that many mistakes. His passes are not great. He doesn't have a great arm. He does have some maneuverability to run, but that's not a great quarterback. I'm sorry, it's not. I mean, how are you picking against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? How are you doing that?
You can't. I can't. And then the world thinks that, too, Michael. Did you see? The spread went from like 2.5 at the open. It's down to 1.
Crazy. Absolute crazy. And again, 49ers could have lost last week.
Well, that's the thing. Listen, I've been on the 49ers bandwagon all year. I thought they were the best team in football outside of those 3 losses in a row when everybody was hurt. But then you see the way they could have easily lost to Green Bay, should have lost to the Lions. And now I'm supposed to believe after 2 weeks they're going to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? I guess anything can happen, but still.
And a guy who doesn't get enough credit is Spagnuolo. I mean, the guy just designs great defensive schemes to stop people. Lamar Jackson is going to run away with the MVP, and he made him look like an amateur. He looked like an inexperienced amateur.
It was a tough day for the aggressive pro-Lamar Jackson crowd, the Lamar does nothing wrong, how dare you doubt him crowd. Like, I hadn't even considered this as a possibility. When I was thinking about it's going to be the big Lamar Jackson middle finger bowl, I didn't think, guys, that there was a possibility he would lay an egg in this spot. And by the way, how dare people say things about Josh Allen, who made the Chiefs' defense look pedestrian for most of that game last week. That defense completely shut down Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
And this is a defense without Gay. And they still couldn't do anything against them. My goodness, how just pathetic they looked. Anemic. Inept.
That was, by the way, a lot of people had different picks on that game. Did you hear anyone say incredibly low scoring and just the Chiefs getting points? Like, I didn't hear anyone think Baltimore scoring 10 points yesterday.
And Peter, as great as we think Mahomes is, and we all do, shut down in the second half. I'm not blaming Baltimore's defense. I'm sorry. It was all on the offense.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Ryan Clark yesterday anointed Patrick Mahomes the greatest of all time. I've never seen better. He's the greatest we've ever seen. By the way, that may very well turn out to be true. 6 years, 6 AFC championships. He's going for his 3rd Super Bowl already. It could be a conversation. But after yesterday, is that the takeaway? I mean, 30 of 39 in a huge spot is super impressive. Yeah. But they put up 17 points.
That offense should not have won the game. 17 points should not be enough to be able to win on the road in a championship game. That's why you're kicking yourself if you're Baltimore.
Are you guys curious to hear the Dan Campbell explanation?
Yeah, when we get back, why don't we do that?
I like that.
All right, it's the final week of Superbox Bonanza 5, and your last chance to get your box for the big game. All qualifiers will get a $25 Fanatics gift card and a chance at one of 10 Superbox prizes. Listen mornings at DPHO in Rothenberg and afternoons to Barton Hahn and the Michael K. Show. This year's big game payouts are $500 in the first and third quarters, $1,000 at halftime, and a final score payout of $2,000. All brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey and the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey. And Security Dodge, come get some. For full contest details, go to superboxbonanza.com. It's also game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Both local basketball teams take the floor tonight. The Knicks are in Charlotte to face the Hornets, with coverage immediately following us right here on 98.7 ESPN. And some good news, too. We'll get into it a little bit later on. But Julius Randle looks like he's going to be out a couple of weeks, not the whole year. So that is gigantic news for the Knicks. And the Nets host the Jazz with tip-off at 7:30, and Ben Simmons is back. Shocking. That's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. We'll come back with your phone calls on a big weekend in football. When I'm getting ready for a game, I have to be prepared.
Oh, well, this is me.
Still early. You want to maybe grab a coffee?
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you earn 2% cash back on what you want, like coffee, ping pong, a movie, karaoke, and 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
Guys with bad jeans, are they worth it?
Jeans go with everything.
They go with nothing. Dudes, get the new Only Pant by Fabletics.
Awesome.
Want one pair of pants that does everything like magic? Breathable cooling tech. Always stretch. Secure phone pocket.
Bro, I'm in an Only Pant ad.
Water repellent. Work, golf, date night, hiking, biking. It's so everything.
See this stretch?
You forget about the deal you're getting.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get the Only Pant for $19 at Fabletics.com.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
I have to find a babysitter.
I have a lot of questions.
When can they start?
Today? Now? Tomorrow?
How about Saturday and Sunday? I need any kind of day.
My wife and I haven't been out in a year.
We need a date night. No offense.
Help!
Can I check reviews?
Are they background checked?
Do I have to go pick them up?
Can they handle all this?
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Jeff has a problem. It started when he ordered his Brunt work boots. He's beating them up 14 hours a day, going on about how they're comfortable as sneakers, but he never takes them off. At my place, with his buddies, at night, I caught him in the shower, and he just goes, "What? They're waterproof." I don't know if we're gonna make it through the 30-day risk-free trial.
Of course they will, babe. They're super durable.
I'm not talking about the boots, Jeff.
Brunt, the tools you wear. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free. Boost your streaming experience with live stats on the Yes app. Real-time features like player stats, game leaders, and play-by-play are available now on phones, tablets, and now on connected TVs. Live stats while you stream, now on the Yes app.
Domino's has you covered.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Get your emergency pizza to use in the future when you order Domino's online.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
We heard you, Jersey, clear and loud. So we built you a new Hard Rock app made for New Jersey. And we'll match your first deposit plus throw in up to 1,000 free spins when you sign up for Hard Rock Bets. New fun and games added each month with more slots from Atlantic City. Brand new loyalty redeemed straight from your phone or in person. And new ways to withdraw. Faster, simpler, easier. Now our bets hit different because your app is different. Sign up now to get your first deposit matched and up to 1,000 free spins.
Show me what you're cooking. Oh, let me see them moves. You got the whole world looking like the scene of kind of magic taking hold of
If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Welcome back to the show. We'll give away a super box a little bit later on in the hour. 1-800-919-3776. Peter said that we are going to hear from Dan Campbell and his excuse or reasoning behind going for it on that fourth down. What do you have, Peter?
Here's Dan.
I just felt really good about us converting, getting our momentum, and not letting them play long ball. You know, they were bleeding the clock out. That's what they do. And I wanted to get the upper hand back. It's easy hindsight, and I get it, you know. I get that. But I don't regret those decisions. And that's hard because, you know, we didn't come through. It wasn't able to work out. But I don't. And I understand the scrutiny I'll get. That's part of the gig, man. But it just didn't work out.
Bleeding the clock, who cares? You were up. If they were bleeding the clock, that benefits you. You were up by 17 points and 14 at the time. Well, he's a nice guy. I mean, but just, that was reckless.
He's more than a nice guy. I think he's a really good coach. I think he really has taken this team to where they are. Yeah. And I think that if you saw, like, there was a video of him, he was very honest with the team afterwards. You know, you may never get another shot at this. I like hearing people be honest and direct. I like to see him walk out with his arm around Teddy Bridgewater, who announced it'll be his last season. Like, he does a lot of things you like as a coach. Look, he's just got to know time and place. You got to be able to pull back in the right spots. Even, Don, if you were aggressive all season long, you're sniffing the Super Bowl. It's worked. Everything you've done has worked. You have to be smart enough to use your methods when they're working, but in a spot that requires something different, you change it up.
I really think that, you know, there's so much to coaching now. Having to deal with players who have a lot more power than they used to. Having to put together schedules and put together game plans. There's a lot that goes into being a coach, and Dan Campbell's an incredible coach. To take this franchise and have them that close to going to a Super Bowl, when that just doesn't happen with the Detroit Lions, is commendable. But another aspect of being a coach is being able to make in-game decisions. And I'm just wondering, guys, if the analytics now have dumbed that down to the point where it's a lost talent of getting a feel for the game. He answered that question, Michael, the same way we feel like we get answers from Robert Saleh every week, or if we hear from Brian Dable after games, where it's like, boy, it doesn't make any sense. Is somebody just in his ear telling him, We have to go for it because that's the percentages, so let's do it. And now he doesn't want to say that because he doesn't want to make it seem like he doesn't have control of the game. But, Michael, it just sounded like a bunch of excuse-making, bleeding the clock. You would have had, if he makes the field goal, have a 17-point lead. They wouldn't be able to bleed the clock. It would take 3 possessions for them to tie or win the game.
Now,
I don't get
my
it.
favorite comedian, I mean, from out of the mouths of somebody you don't expect, Bill Burr last night tweeted this out. I don't know if you saw this. What do analytics say about the momentum shift of not kicking a field goal, going forward on 4th down and turning the ball over versus the upside of making the first down? There's different layers to, like, going, okay, we think you should go for it, but what happens to the game if you don't get it, though? I mean, is that factored in? What happens to the game when you don't get it and all of the momentum shifts back to the other team?
See, all these analytic guys will tell you, here's the percentage if he makes the field goal. Here's the percentage if he gets the 4th down. Are they just inverted, the stats? Here's what it is if he misses the field goal. Here's what it is if he doesn't get the 4th down. Is it just inverted, or do the stats change? I would think they would change because of that momentum factor. I'm sorry, stopping a team on 4th down, you know, as a fan, you jump out of your seat. It's a big deal. Now, missing a field goal is a big deal too. But you really feel like you accomplished something if you stop somebody on 4th down. And all the momentum. You mentioned it earlier, Michael. Kicking the field goal matches the field goal that the 49ers had gotten earlier in the second half. So here we are midway through the third quarter, and the 49ers are like, we can't gain anything here. We got a quarter and a half to go, and we're still down 17. They're going to change their game plan now. They can't just continue to do what they do, because they've got to score pretty much on maybe all their possessions the rest of the way to expect to win the game. And then from the defensive perspective is they give up more points. They're still scoring on us. Didn't Dan Campbell say before the game it's a race to 30? Well, is it part of getting to 30 is to try to get to 3 to get to 27? It's mind-boggling to me. The 2 things that drive me crazy. Well, he's an aggressive guy. Well, then explain the end of the second quarter. Well, these are the numbers. What do numbers have anything to do with football now? We're going to make it into baseball where it's all played on paper, that there isn't emotion, there isn't desire. Peter brought up a great comp with Snead in the Kansas City game. Maybe that fraction of an inch came from the fact that he was ticked off on the play before. I don't know. But you're trying to get these guys to run through walls. The big Newt Rockney speech. Go win one for the Gipper. That football is supposed to be about that inch that you gain from just wanting it. It's more, a game of inches, or the desire. I know it's from a hokey, stupid movie, Any Given Sunday, but that the Al Pacino, that 1 inch, fighting for that 1 inch. That's what this game is about. And how do you do that? It comes from desire, from the gut, the want to. That comes from having a ball thrown in your face. That comes from coming up with a big 4th down to get the ball back for your offense. Take these numbers and stick them, because they're usually done by people who have never played the game, have zero feel for the game.
Let's go to Scott in Manhattan. Scott.
Wow, man, that was wax poetically. You need to go on TV with that one. It was great.
I just was.
Yeah, but listen, man, like you said, the Lamar thing, pathetic spot. And like I said, golf had nothing to do, did terrible. But I just wanted to say this. I was rooting for Detroit because I had a coworker of mine who was in my department who passed away a couple of years ago, and he was a big Detroit fan, so I was really rooting for these guys. And I look and say, Campbell, listen, like you said, you got to read the room, the momentum, take the points. And I know, and I'm glad you said it's about this analytical, guys, because, I mean, these numbers don't mean nothing. That's not football. And Mike, I'm glad you said the thing about Purdy as well. Come on, he played well yesterday, but he, like you said, he couldn't shine the shoes of a lot of those guys that was on that field yesterday. But like Campbell blew this one, man. I just feel bad. He blew this one, and I feel bad for golf as well.
All right, thank you, Scott. Well, I agree, and I don't want people to think I'm killing Purdy. I'm just saying he's not on the level of these other quarterbacks. He doesn't make the big mistake. He came through in the second half when he had to, but he is a system quarterback. Now, Phil Simms said this yesterday in the New York Post in Serby's Q&A. Name a quarterback that does well that doesn't have weapons. I agree. So I'm not taking these weapons and using it against him, but he does not have the same skill set as the great quarterbacks in the game. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He had Tommy John surgery last year, so his arm is not nearly what it was, and it wasn't that great anyway. Remember, he was the last pick in the draft for a reason. For a reason. Now, he's fallen into a perfect situation with a great coach, with great offensive schemes, all of that. And he's doing his part. But please don't compare him to Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen. He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
But he seems to be developing into that guy. He clearly was missed in the championship game last year. He's now going to a Super Bowl. Maybe he will become that guy. But I don't think he'll ever reach the levels of the guys that you're talking about. But that also tells you the coach. He's got a great coach, Michael. Boy, coaching still matters, right? So if you think coaching matters, don't you think Mahomes gets something from who's coaching him?
Yeah, absolutely. But you also have to have a certain level of greatness because it's the same guy coaching Mahomes that coached Donovan McNabb, and Donovan McNabb didn't win Super Bowls. So
yeah, but maybe he took Donovan McNabb as far as the physical abilities can. And if we think the Super Bowl is going to go the way we all seem to, then we'll look and say maybe San Francisco is going to be that team that can always get there but not finish it off because the quarterback on the other side will always be better. But that might be an obstacle that stops them from ever winning the Super Bowl.
Brian in Milburn. Brian.
First of all, Michael, you're talking about a quarterback who leads the franchise in passing yards with Steve Young and Joe Montana in it. First of all, his arm got stronger. He can make every throw on the play. I'm a 49er fan. If he was trash, I'd keep it real with you. But you're discrediting that man. Yo, Dak Prescott couldn't do that last night or against Green Bay. You got to put some respect on this man, Michael K. You got to, man. There's no 17 points in the NFC Championship game, and you're going to sit here and really tell me you don't see no spot. Yo, just what Don just said, a lot of people like you can't see it. You can't quantify it. He got that dog in him.
So Brian, every single one, wait a minute, every single one of the other 31 teams in the NFL and the 49ers didn't see that dog in him until the last pick of the draft. So let's relax. He does not have the physical skills of the other guy.
Hold on. If it was for you, where was Joe Montana drafted at? Let's get there.
He was in the third round. This guy was Mr. Irrelevant.
Okay. So Joe Montana, hey, and he's in the Super Bowl. That's all that needs to matter. That's all that matters.
Well, Brian, let me ask you this though. He had a great game. Remember I texted you guys on that one pass he had. He scrambled and found the guy on the sideline. He had some great moments last night. But how great But how great do you think he is relative to the group of elite quarterbacks in this league? You don't think he's top 10?
No. I'm not saying he's Josh Allen, Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying
that's all I'm saying.
That's all.
Please,
my joke was calling him trash.
I never ever said the word trash. Brian, you make it up. I did not say the word trash. Prove it that I use the word trash. Prove it that I use the word trash.
Hey, listen. Hold on. You said I cannot see after the Green Bay game. I'm a fan of yours. I'm not arguing with you. I love you. I love all y'all. I love you, Don. I love you, Don, for the analytics thing you just said. Because that's true. This world is turning into some Terminator 2 stuff. Everybody got to do everything by numbers. Don't feel to the game no more. That's the problem with the world.
But Brian, I never said he was trash. I said he's not Mahomes, he's not Burrow, and he's not Allen. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's not one of the greats.
Now, he could be. Now here's Mahomes when he was 24 years old, third year in the league, 4,031 yards, 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Purdy threw for 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions in his second year at 24. So, Michael, if he's got the dog, which you all agree with, is it possible that in a few years he might elevate himself to that point? I agree. He's not there yet.
I don't think he will because he doesn't have the physical talent of the other guys. He just doesn't. I'm not taking anything away from him. He can win the Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
Well, didn't he have Tommy John after the injury last year?
Yes, he did.
So I guess the arm strength can come back. Yeah, he may not be those guys, but I could see. Can you see that maybe he can get to a point where he might, with those weapons and that coaching staff, throw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns? It's possible.
It's possible.
I mean, in his second year, he threw 31 touchdowns and 42
I'm going to tell you something that everybody's head will explode. I think that if you put Sam Darnold in that system from the beginning of the year, they'd be just as good as they are now.
Ooh, interesting.
And Sam Darnold has more physical talent than Brock Purdy.
I don't know if I'm mad at that.
I agree.
Yeah, I always thought that Sam, with the right coaching. Now, he might be broken at this point. where he couldn't do anything with him, but having him at the same time that he had Brock Purdy.
Now let's remember everything. Also, the power and the genius of Shanahan. He went to a Super Bowl with Garoppolo, who was benched by the Raiders for Aiden O'Donnell or whatever his last name is. So he went to the Super Bowl with that guy. Everybody looks at the warts of that guy. Now it's not right of me to look at the warts of Brock Purdy? Come on. Let's not go overboard here.
And you never called him garbage, man.
I would not. I would never call anybody garbage.
I enjoyed the call, the spirit, the spunk of the caller.
Yeah, sure. The gumption.
I hope he becomes a regular.
He's been on a few times.
But I don't think you would never say that.
Not garbage. He said I said trash. I never said trash.
Either one, but
I would never say it about a human being. Well, there are human beings that are trash, but I wouldn't say it on the air.
No, you're above it.
I'm not above it. I wouldn't say it on the air.
Because you're above it.
That's right.
No, I'm strategic.
Oh, I see.
Hey, it's the final week of Superbox Bonanza 5. I don't know if you've heard about that. Each qualifier will take home a $25 Fanatics gift card and have a chance at one of 10 Superbox prizes. Be caller number... What's Brock Purdy's number?
13?
Yeah, it's 13, right?
Yeah.
Be caller number 130 right now.
No. What the hell was that for?
888-987-ESPN.
They didn't do anything wrong.
Select a box for the big game with a chance to win $500 in the first and third quarters, $1,000 at halftime, and a final score payout of $2,000. It's all brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey and the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey and Security Dodge. Come get some. What are you saying, Peter?
Sorry, Anthony and I were just talking about how yes is no longer on delay, but you still like to make them go to a caller 130.
Oh, I'm sorry, making Anthony work a little bit?
But that's not it. First of all, he works all day. Second of all, that's just stupid.
He works harder than we do.
That's for sure.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
He got that dog in him.
On this show, yes.
See, he's in at 11. What time are you in?
I start working on this show at 9 o'clock. Oh, that was funny, Don.
That's a mic drop. You got to admit that. You got to admit, a mic drop's a mic drop.
Great. Now you're on the list. Look, he enjoyed himself. He really does that a lot. Enjoys himself. Listeners, it's Michael K. When it comes to travel, nothing beats
Oh, well, this is me.
Still early. You want to maybe grab a coffee?
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you earn 2% cash back on what you want, like coffee, ping pong, a movie, karaoke, and 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
So, you need a suit, a tux even? Maybe you got invited to a fancy party, or you're someone's plus one, and the last time you resorted to a warehouse, you didn't like the way you looked. This time, get a better suit from the Black Tux, and we'll deliver it with time to spare. Try it on. If the fit isn't right, we'll replace it right away, for free. And on the big day, you'll look as great as you feel. With the Black Tux, it's easy to look your best for every occasion. TheBlackTux.com. Formal wear for the moment.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Guys with bad genes, are they worth it?
Jeans go with everything.
They go with nothing. Dudes, get the new Only Pant by Fabletics.
Awesome.
Want one pair of pants that does everything like magic? Breathable cooling tech. Always stretch. Secure phone pocket.
Bro, I'm in an Only Pant ad.
Water repellent. Work, golf, date night, hiking, biking. It's so everything.
See this stretch?
You forget about the deal you're getting.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get the Only Pant for $19 at Fabletics.com.
Win big while streaming the Nets with Pick and Play on the Yes app. Make your picks before tip-off and win up to $10,000. What a move! Yes, Pick and Play. It's the game within the game, only on the Yes app.
In your ability to lose weight and keep it off. And when you believe you can succeed, you already have.
Wegovy is for adults with obesity and shouldn't be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family had medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with type 2 diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat type 2 diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
So keep on believing, because it's not just about the weight you lose. It's about everything you gain. Believe on. Wegovy.
If eating healthy's got you like, oh no, then it's time to switch it up with Hungry Root.
Hello, Hungry Root.
You'll be like,
my favorite.
Wow. And they'll be all,
This looks so good. Oh my gosh.
Healthy, easy, delicious. With Hungry Root, you got this. Healthy groceries and simple recipes delivered to your door. Plus, get free veggies for life at hungryroot.com.
Some of us that his dad kept the gun with his father and
We all smoked in those days. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now.
All right, so a gentleman, very nice message that he sent on X. Kendall Wiggins said, Michael, does Nestor have the same skill as Cole? Was he a number one draft pick? Sometimes you find your Matt Blake, and he found his Shanahan. You can't play like this for 2 years in the NFL and be pedestrian. Same like Nestor in the MLB. Well, that's kind of my point, Kendall. Nestor will never be Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole's on another level. Nestor could be an all-star. He could be very, very successful. He does not have the skill set of Garrett Cole. He doesn't throw like him. He's not consistent like him. He's not great like him. He's not going to the Hall of Fame like him. So if you want to compare Purdy to Nestor and say, look, he's found the right system, which I said that he has, he's never going to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm just looking at skill set, running, and he has elusiveness, arm strength, and there's no even before he had the injury, he didn't have a great arm. So I'm just saying. He's the right quarterback for the right team, but I'm not putting him up there in the upper echelon. I'm just not.
Now, that said, I think I'd rather have him than Lamar Jackson in a big game.
Well, I mean,
until further notice.
I don't know about that.
Well, I'm entitled to my opinion.
No, I get it, but I mean, I don't know if I would rather. I mean, is there enough of a sample size? He hasn't played great in both of the games. They just squeaked by.
I know, but he was playing in a championship game last year that maybe they would have won had he played. Now he's going to a Super Bowl in his second year. And Lamar Jackson, that was not a great performance yesterday in his own building against a team that totally could have been had. So I'm not going to ever question who's got the better skill set, who's going to win MVPs, but that it factor, that's something, and maybe it's the coaching. I don't know, although I don't think John Harbaugh is a bad coach by any stretch of the imagination. Now, that can change. Lamar Jackson could win 3 Super Bowls before it's all said and done. But right now, yeah, very small sample size, but if I need a game, Michael, it's hard to say that Lamar Jackson's going to be very high on the list at this particular moment.
And our great caller from Millburn, right? He said that Purdy has more yards than Montana and Young. Are you putting him in the same breath as those guys? The game is different now. It's much different than when they played. You actually can't play defense now.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little hesitant to all of a sudden just anoint Patrick Mahomes as the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. He's certainly on the list, but he didn't have to play against defenses and rules that the Montanas and the Youngs and the Marinos and the Elways had to deal with. I mean, the game and the yards out there. Steve Young used to tell us every Monday, Michael, the yards are out there to get. So what used to be 4,000 yards is a big deal. Now guys are throwing for 5.5 now. So I wouldn't look at the stats.
Now, I've heard, and we're going to check it out right now, R.J. Santillo was a big 49er fan.
Right.
Used to be on the show and then unceremoniously left to produce the morning show. He's done a great job there. I mean, imagine having to deal with Dave every day. Well, on Friday, I think RJ enters the pantheon of the greats. Listen to what RJ said on Friday when they were making their picks.
I actually think this game could turn based on Dan Campbell's aggressiveness. He will go for a couple of 4th downs. Maybe he'll get 1 or 2. But will give the Niners field position. And most importantly, the variable, Debo, yes, the son will be in attendance. And that's in our favor.
Debo's son's going to be there, and that, you think, makes all the difference?
I think Debo's son probably will be there, but great. Debo and the son and his son. So they'll all be there.
Great.
Give me the Niners.
He was right. The aggressiveness played against him.
Wow. I mean, listen, I guess if we were to think about it and really talk about it in detail, it's a totally logical thing to point out when looking at these two teams, but he nailed it. That is literally the difference in this game. I maybe more. I'm trying to remember a game. I'm also trying to talk over the phone at Michael's house, but I remember a game. I can't remember a playoff game.
Keep going.
Is it getting up to yell at someone? I hope he is.
It's like a phone from a Walmart in 1987, right? It's just a weird. You wouldn't expect that kind of a ring at a house, right?
You know, that's a great point by you. But do you remember a game? The last time a game of this import had coaching decisions that were so impactful, where you went, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that he did that."
Laugh, Peter. You could broadcast with humongous wrestlers sweating into your eyelids, but a phone in the background threw you. It threw you.
I knew what he was doing.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He was trying to embarrass you.
Yeah, no, it was to be funny. I obviously could have kept going.
You can fight through it.
But it's like it became so like it became sort of a funny thing.
I thought that at some point, maybe the 12th ring, something would happen.
Yeah, who sets their phone to 12 rings? That's the thing.
First of all, nobody has my number. That number is just for an emergency. You have to get a home phone to get internet.
I know what it was. I bet I know what it was.
What was it?
Nonsense.
Yeah, it's some clown.
It's a telephone.
Yeah.
Well, now it's off the hook.
Oh, it is off the hook.
Wait, now we...
Now they'll never reach us.
The phone that will not die. Well, when I work at home, I just make sure that I have the ringer off at the phone that's in the basement.
Right. Well, you know what? I have changed studios, and I did not do that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What room is that now?
It's another room in the house.
Anthony wants to. I want to give him credit for it. Since you abuse him, what floor are you on?
I'm on the basement floor.
You're still on? You were on the first floor before.
Yeah, his office was. You've been?
Yeah, I've been.
You know what? It became a pigsty because of the cameras and the wires. I said enough.
Because you wanted your office back.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what are we going to do about the phone being off the hook?
It's at some point it'll just die.
Listen.
This is such a flashback to like the landline.
By the way, can you believe that tone exists? When was the last time you heard that tone?
I don't know. Probably the last time I made an emergency breakthrough.
There are young people who have not ever heard that. They don't even know what that is.
I don't like your tone.
Well, I don't think people knew what I just said.
Emergency. Well, I don't know. Emergency breakthrough.
Do you remember emergency breakthrough, Michael?
Yeah, when you tell the operator I have to get through.
Right.
You guys lived in that?
Yeah, I lived at the time. Like, whoever was my friends on the phone, I would call the operator, emergency breakthrough. And then you'd record your name, and they'd say, emergency breakthrough from Don, and then that person would hang up. They were just for emergencies, but we just wanted them to hang up. And then sometimes we'd be crude and say something like filthy in the recording. I wonder when they gave that up. Probably 89. But that's how old I am.
Football Mondays on 98.7 ESPN are brought to you by InfinityUSA.com. Discover more about the luxury and performance of an Infinity QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com or visit your local Infinity dealer today. You know, there's something that has really rankled me over the last couple of days, and it concerns the football. And I'll get to it in a moment. But first, Peter is going to tell us about FanDuel.
Oh, well, this is me.
It's still early. You want to maybe grab a coffee?
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you earn 2% cash back on what you want, like coffee, ping pong, a movie, karaoke, and 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're going to feel the difference. The best thing about the only pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
At Care.com, you can find all the help you need. You can find babysitters, and you can find nannies. You can find dog walkers who will step in as your best friend's new best friend, and housekeepers who can get your floors looking great, at least for a little bit. You can find companions and helpers and caregivers, but most importantly, you can find out what it's like to not have to do it all on your own. Find all the care you need at Care.com.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at Square.com today.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Well, everyone listening will be happy to know that I did not see an ability to turn off the ringer, so I ripped the phone out of the wall.
Oh, no.
Yep, it's out of the wall. Thank you.
I hope you didn't actually rip it out of the wall.
I did, because I didn't know what to do. I can't take the abuse that I would get from you if it started to ring again.
Well, you could have just gently lifted the phone off and disconnected the cord.
How would you have responded if Peter were home and the phone was ringing in the background?
No,
we'd be late to break.
For how long he'd be ripping me?
Yeah, we still do it.
No. Imagine we're sitting in my house and just 8 rings goes.
Right, and then the
I would
forget.
You know what? I probably would have had to leave the show. So come on, don't be better than the rest.
I'm not better. I'm saying I didn't want to hear it anymore. So I ripped the phone off the wall.
It was such a throwback moment, though.
You're not a destructive person that way.
Well, you said on Friday, and it made me think that you've seen me angry.
Yes.
So I do have that snappage.
But not, destroying your own property.
That came with the house.
Killing drywall.
Came with the house.
No, interesting.
There are people, and I know that everything now, and I have to be careful with this, everything now is political theater. Okay?
Here we go. Here we go.
Are there people within the sound of our voice right now that truly believe that the NFL rigged their season so that Taylor Swift's boyfriend would be in the Super Bowl? Do you really believe that that has happened? Because there are people that have a platform that actually believe that this is the case and that the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl because the NFL wants Taylor Swift to be able to announce her allegiance and her endorsement of Joe Biden at halftime. This is stuff I've read. Now, as far as I know, Taylor Swift was not dating Travis Kelce last year. And as far as I know, they won the Super Bowl last year. So if they won the Super Bowl again this year, do you think it has anything to do with the NFL rigging the biggest event in the world so that Taylor Swift could have more publicity and that they want Taylor Swift to be part of the Chiefs so they get bigger numbers? They get 117 million viewers the way it is. What's it going to go to, 122?
And that she endorses Biden?
Yeah.
Michael, I don't know a lot of information about the NFL owners, but I think if they wanted to rig it, Kid Rock would be dating Travis Kelce.
It's true that...
All right, real quick, hold on.
NFL,
Don's got a second point guard. Second point guard of the day.
NFL owners are clearly on the side of the Republican candidate. I think there's I saw the numbers say 89% of the owners support Donald Trump. So you think that the NFL owners are rigging this so that Taylor Swift could actually be part of a halftime thing where she endorses the Democratic candidate for I mean, are you people out of your mind? Do you really want to go to the... And I also don't understand, I know Peter has some lighthearted stuff about it. Why the enmity toward this woman? What has she done? What has she done that upsets so many people? Everything I've ever seen about the woman is she donates to worthy causes.
She seems
like she almost seems
by the way,
too
she's super
perfect
talented.
for the
Music's
world.
pretty good. I have no serious issues with Taylor Swift at all. Anything I've ever said about it is in jest because it's just like a funny thing. Then, of course, people seem to go so far with everything that just having fun and finding it annoying is like, I don't want to associate with people who are actually angry about this or think it's problematic. I read that yesterday. I read real humans. I love to talk to one.
Right, so would I.
If you really believe this league is scripted and you really believe the Ravens didn't have a chance yesterday, I want to talk to you because you are a moron. It does not make any sense. I'm not saying I don't believe in any sort of conspiracy. I'm not saying you guys, I talk about it all the time. And healthcare, there are a lot of different issues where I will say, oh my God, this doesn't add up. Something's going on here. In fact, many world issues happening right now, I have big conspiracy theories about. However, at the NFL, do you realize if you're trying to say that the Chiefs, honestly, they were going to win no matter what because Taylor Swift, blah, 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 blah. What would have happened if the Ravens had just been good yesterday?
And also, Peter.
What if Lamar Jackson had just run all over them? They could have won 41-10.
Well, also, Peter, if they were rigging an outcome for the top level of eyeballs, wouldn't the Lions have beaten the 49ers? To have Eminem and Taylor Swift? I mean, don't you bring everybody into the tent?
Wait a minute. If they were rigging this thing, do you think we'd be going on 30 years without the Cowboys in a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't even care about the people that have the nerve to make this up. I care about the people that actually think that it could be true because the people that are making it up in order to get your attention are convincing you that it's true. And I do want to know, and the phones are always there for you to contact us. What makes this woman so detestable to you? What?
But who is actually saying that?
But half the country feels that way.
Well, it's social media, and social media is just disgusting. But there are people, Peter, that are annoyed how much she's on television.
But she doesn't put herself on television. That's what I don't get.
Well, and listen, it can be a little much.
But it's not her fault.
But it's not her fault, and it's nothing that you can't just ignore if you really choose to. I mean, it doesn't really interfere with my viewing. And, if they're not showing her, they'd show some dummy with his shirt off, with his face painted red.
And there was a shot yesterday, Don, where they showed her cheering after a touchdown, and you could see she looked up. There's a TV in the box, and she said, "Shut the camera off." She's not asking to be on. The woman is as famous as you could be. You think she needs to be on NFL games?
People are listen, like I said, have some fun, tease it, sure, okay, lots of Taylor Swift. But are you actually angry about this?
I guess there are, though, Peter. You know that.
Because there are people that are just angry in general.
Well, yeah. And also, she's a really strong, powerful woman who can buy and sell anybody that she wants. And she is a billionaire who does whatever she wants. So a lot of people just don't like it.
And I also think that this segment of the population that's a little nervous because she does move the needle politically. She could get young women to register. She's done it before. And she can tip an election. I think that's what's freaking people out.
Well, maybe. Yeah, I mean.
Both sides, well, they won't be, but we should always encourage people to go out there and vote.
I've sort of changed my mind on that.
Well, I mean, I guess in theory. But, and listen, there have been plenty of people that have become famous, and you're like, why are they famous?
Right.
That's not somebody you look and go, why is she famous? She's exceptionally talented. It's not my cup of tea, but my daughter loves her, and she's really good at what she does.
You know what's weirder than that? What's weirder than that is that I have a friend a dear friend. She's married to Chauncey. You've heard me talk about Chauncey.
Yeah.
Chauncey's wife, Erin, is not into sports or football at all. And loves the Kelceys. And literally posted on her IG story, counting down to the game to root for Travis because she loves Jason Kelce and the Kelceys. That, to me, is much more random than being interested in Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, you fully understand the appeal. I mean, listen, there are people who, like I told you guys a long time ago, do people rate her incredibly highly and go, oh, my God, I've never seen a concert like that in my life? And meanwhile, you find out they haven't been to a concert in 15 years? Yes, I've experienced that. Does that change anything about how talented she is? Clearly.
And there's also other people, Peter and Don, and our listeners, that feel that the Chiefs, were fait accompli to go to the Super Bowl because they want to market the fact that Travis Kelce took the vaccine.
Okay. Well, no. I want to know who you're listening to. I want to know where you're seeing these people.
I don't want to give them any more breath. I will send you the link.
That is very, very strange. People have too much time.
Wait a minute. So Pfizer couldn't run a commercial unless Kelce was in the game?
No, but they want to see. Oh, look, he's a great player, and he actually took the vaccine. Listen, I don't make this stuff up.
Wow. I mean,
one of the people say that the Super Bowl is going to be rigged is the former, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but Ramaswamy.
Vivek?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, let me get it for you.
This is if you wanted to know, this is
I wonder what's going to win the Super Bowl next one. I wonder who's going to win the Super Bowl next month. And I wonder if there's a major presidential endorsement coming from an artificially, culturally propped up couple this fall. Just some wild speculation over here. Let's see how it ages over the next 8 months.
I'll reserve comment on Vivek. Good old Vivek Ramaswamy.
And really, if I was going to talk to Vivek, why couldn't she endorse him without the Super Bowl?
Yeah, why does
she need the Super Bowl to endorse them? She draws 100,000 people to her concerts.
Yeah, that part. If you think her influence did not go up, the NFL benefited much more than Taylor Swift did.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, I know that's almost nominal because the NFL doesn't need much either. But Taylor Swift, she's good, guys. She was a billionaire before this happened. Has she made money because of this yet? I don't think so.
Now, a good friend of the show texted me.
Okay, I need a name.
I'll give you the name. And wanted to know, okay, so Purdy is not the names that you listed. He said he's certainly not trash, which you did not say. But where is he in Peter's wedding tables? Where does he sit there, Peter?
Well, I have not thought this through all the way yet.
I know you're where you should have him.
Where would you have him, Donnie?
Well, I think he's table 2.
You do?
All
right, do you believe he's on the level of Jared Goff?
I would rather have him than Goff at this point. I mean, he's younger. He's only in his second year. He's thrown for 4,000 yards and 31 touchdowns.
But don't you think that's Goff? Goff has been to a Super Bowl. And I think this would have been Purdy's second Super Bowl, by the way, if he didn't get hurt.
Right.
Possible.
I think Goff has a better arm. So,
well, actually, it should be noted, earlier in this year when I re-upped the tables, and it was when Purdy was going just crazy, I put him at table 2.
You did.
He was already at table 2.
All right, so let's take a look at this. Buffalo Bills. He's not better than Allen.
No, he's
All
not.
right, how about Tua? That's interesting.
He is not better than Tua. No chance.
All right, Patriots, he's better. Jets.
That, for sure.
Well, I mean, he's better than Zach, but is he better than Rodgers? No.
Well, probably not. But honestly, I at this point refuse to talk about what Aaron Rodgers is. We just don't know.
So this is your stand you're making. I love it.
I mean, what do you think, Don? Do you think we have a... Can you really tell me in 2024 what Aaron Rodgers is?
We're just saying, who's a better quarterback right now? At this moment.
Right.
The one who's available?
The last time Rodgers played was in 2022. He threw for 3,700 yards and 26 touchdowns.
Very good.
Purdy did better than that in his second year.
Yeah, but with Kyle Shanahan, a very different team.
Yeah, but you know what? The Packers coach is pretty good coach, too.
Can we just give the Jets an NA?
Yes. Let's go to the NFC East. This is interesting. Dak.
Purdy or Dak?
Well, but here's the thing. All right, you probably take Dak in his numbers, but in a big game,
Purdy's already proven to be more clutch.
Be more clutch.
Yeah, I guess you go Purdy.
And he's 4-1 in the postseason, Purdy. All right. Giants, he's better than Jones.
Sure.
Eagles, Hurts. I think Hurts has more talent, but coming off this year, I'm not sure.
But from accomplishments, they're pretty much even.
Right.
Yeah, Hurts had a very rough year, but Hurts's arm talent, I'd rather have Hurts, I think.
Commanders are not in. All right, so let's go to the AFC North. Lamar Jackson, no, he's not better. Burrow, he's not better.
Both in Pittsburgh, better.
Deshaun Watson, is he better?
Better.
He's better, okay.
I'm taking Purdy. I think Watson's dead.
Yeah, until further notice, right? I got to go back 3 years.
We're 3 years out, so I think it's over for Deshaun.
And he's better than Little Hands.
I don't like what you've done there, and it's unnecessary.
Right.
But and by the way, it's not just Little Hands. Him at Little Hands and Big Hands are bad there. If Rudolph Pickett, they don't have a quarterback.
All right, NFC North. The Bears, he's better than Fields.
No, I'm taking Fields.
You don't think he's better than Fields?
No.
Really?
No, you can't do that.
Well, I mean, but the Bears are going to cut bait on Fields.
They may. And Fields, by the way, statistically is certainly much worse. But the eye test that I've seen with both of them tells me if I was to put them on a team with nothing and no Kyle Shanahan,
but
I'm taking Fields.
Because you take any of these quarterbacks out of the situation that they're in, they're not going to be as good as...
But we're doing that. But I agree with Peter because we're looking at talent. Because if you're just going by results, then Purdy's the number one.
Right, because Michael said he would replace, and I agree, he'd replace Purdy with Sam Darnold and be fine. So I have to look at the whole picture. I see more with Justin Fields. I think in the long run, Justin Fields on the right team could be a bigger stud than Brock Purdy,
that's
for sure.
I wouldn't say that, but go ahead.
All right, Lions, Goff. You're saying you want him more than Goff. I can't argue with that. I think it's close.
I have them almost at dead even.
Okay. All right, here's an interesting one. Jordan Love.
You know me. Jolo. I'm taking Jordan
They're both
Love.
kind of in the same boat, right? Because they're both fairly young.
Jordan Love's just a bigger talent to me.
Yeah, I think talent-wise, he's better.
He's got more talent.
Yeah. Vikings don't count. All right. Texans, C.J. Stroud. You'd rather have him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Indianapolis Colts, we really don't know enough about Richardson.
But from what they say and saw, I think they're expecting Richardson to be a better talent than Brock Purdy. But I haven't watched him, so I mean, I can't say.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars. I would rather have the Jaguars quarterback.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Titans rather than Titan quarterback failed.
Levis? I think Levis is the better talent than Purdy.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I saw some good stuff from Levis. But he hasn't shown it yet. I guess based on what's on paper.
Come on.
What? You don't know, but
People
I
really
know,
like
I know Levis.
But here's Purdy's in his second year. He's thrown for 4,200 yards and 31 touchdown passes. I get he's got a genius as a head coach. And I get he's got weapons. But how many of these guys, even Patrick Mahomes didn't throw for 4,200 yards in his second year? I mean, I'm sorry, it's hard for me to have this conversation and not think about or even salivate at what Purdy could end up being next year. Like, he is growing into what could be an absolute stud. Yes, he clearly was the fourth quarterback going into the Final Four. And I agree with Michael. He's not Mahomes. He's not Jackson. He's not Allen. But God, you look at the second year of all those players. He's on pace to be as good as those players. And because of the coach and the system and the talent around him, we could be having a conversation in 2 or 3 years, guys, as Brock Purdy being one of, if not the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Now, Falcons, he's better than Ritter, right?
For sure.
Panthers.
Heineke, I don't know. Just kidding. Yes, better.
Better. Derek Carr.
Better.
Derek Carr is kind of, to me, what Purdy is right now at his ceiling.
Yeah, but I think Derek Carr has a much bigger arm.
No, but again, there's a lot of guys that have big arms.
Derek Carr's done a lot over the years, but he's also never had any season like Purdy's having. And that's what's so hard. Is because, like, if I don't know, when I just watch Purdy physically, I'm never that impressed with his throwing. He does have some running, actually, that really impresses me, and some escapability in the pocket that impresses me.
By the way, he's going to get hurt running. He never slides.
He's
he
a
goes
little
head
goofy
first.
with it.
Can he end up being, and I'm just looking at Carr's best year was 4,800 yards, and that was 3 years ago in Vegas. And he's only once has he thrown for over 30 touchdown passes, and that was in 2015. So, guys, you know what you're kind of describing to me is almost like an Eli Manning type. Like, he may not have the numbers other guys do, but he just seems to be ultra clutch.
But he's got better numbers in season than Eli does.
Right, but I'm saying it's kind of like, in the sense, like, I think Purdy will be a better quarterback than Eli Manning up and down. But there's just that it factor of in the big game. And also, it's so early in his career, he may not have the best arm. He may not have the physical attributes that the other guys do. And he may never be in the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. That's what I was trying to say about Eli, is that Eli was never in the top 5 quarterbacks. Maybe, in some years, not even in the top 10. But he's still somebody you want to have, somebody you want to build an organization around. And I'm telling you, Michael, if things continue to trend the way they are for Lamar Jackson, and he ends up putting up MVPs but not winning, and then Brock Purdy is a borderline pedestrian regular season quarterback and is winning titles, people are going to pick Purdy over Jackson, even though Jackson's got tremendous physical skills. That's a tough loss for him on his resume. It's tough to not have that winning record in the postseason when you got a good team, talent, and a great coach, and you're not winning. Does all that talent matter?
You mentioned the Giants and the idea of, like, playing. Could he be an Eli character? Michael, what's interesting? How can you even come up with a comp? I know it sounds like Michael and I in particular are discrediting Purdy. And you really shouldn't, because he's been awesome. But can you in any way find a comp for someone having Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel? Not only, Michael, do they have Kyle Shanahan and the kind of offense that he runs, which is just constantly getting the ball out of your hands immediately, and throw, short throw. It really complements his style. But Deebo and McCaffrey in particular, guys who both can catch the ball out of the backfield and run. It's such a sick combination. I think it's very hard to really compare him to these other guys. I really do.
Let's finish up the last 9 teams.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield with the Bucks. Better, right? But, it's almost on that same level.
No, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure yet that Baker's better.
Not Baker's. No. I said Purdy's better. Yeah.
Oh, you mean Purdy's better? Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't seen enough from Baker Mayfield to be better than what Purdy's done.
Russell Wilson?
I mean, he was better. Is he at this moment? Russell had a really good bounce back year. I don't know. That's how do you say that? Because Russell's better historically.
Mahomes better.
Yeah.
Garoppolo's not better. Herbert is better. Better talent.
I mean, you love Herbert. He definitely appears better.
Kyler Murray?
No.
Matthew
More
Stafford?
talented, but no. Historically, for sure. Yeah, I mean, he's Matthew Stafford.
Geno
He's definitely
Smith.
He's better than Geno Smith.
Yeah,
All right, so unless this little exercise, what this does, unless you have 20 people at a table, he's at table 3.
No, but
all the people we just said are better.
Well, but yeah, you're kind of morphing the argument into what you perceive to be better. The physical talent, like somebody mentioned something on Twitter. Well, then where would Tom Brady be? Because Tom Brady wasn't the most gifted athlete. He had a big arm, but he wasn't mobile at all.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't put him on the same level as a Patrick Mahomes talent-wise, but you would take Tom Brady every day over Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, how do you morph this conversation? It was who's stronger, who's more talented, who's more gifted. But winning still matters.
Well, two things. I don't think everybody would take Tom Brady over Patrick Mahomes. I don't think that's a no-brainer. But I also hear what you're saying. If you're looking at the tables, Michael, as I had it earlier in the year, I had Purdy at table 2 with Herbert, Goff, and Lamar Jackson.
So now you're moving Goff off the table.
I mean, based on the way we were talking about it right now. Not necessarily, though. I said they were close. Table 3 had Stafford, Cousins, Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, and Geno Smith.
I think Stafford's better than Purdy.
But the thing is, we're really just guessing. I don't like this exercise in the sense that Purdy, all he does is win games. His record's insane. His numbers are insane. We really should just be saying he's on pace to become an all-time great. The problem is he was Mr. Irrelevant. We don't know that much about him. He has a sick coach and 2 incredible weapons that everyone in the league would die to have. So it's very hard to really analyze this in any other way besides hunch.
I guess let's just put it in this perspective. Michael, it sounds like what you're saying is that when it's all said and done, Purdy will never be at the level that the truly elite quarterbacks get to.
I don't know if I could say that, because if he continues to win, I mean, winning is a huge factor in determining how good a player is.
What if he has 7 years with Kyle Shanahan in this team?
And he wins 3 Super Bowls, and he's got to be considered one of the greats. I guess what I'm delineating is just in terms of pure physical talent. It's not there for this guy, but put it all together and it works.
By the way, I think Debo's 28. What's McCaffrey, like 28? Like this.
By the way, McCaffrey almost got paralyzed yesterday.
Oh my God,
that was brutal, and it wasn't even brought up on the broadcast.
Is he fine?
He was. That guy was giving him like an unbelievable massage because something was wrong with his neck, but he went down straight down on his neck.
If that happens to one of us, over.
Yeah,
life. That's just because he's a jack dude that he could even survive. It was crazy.
All right, we'll come back, take some of your phone calls, still up to talk some Knicks. This year, it's time to finally lose that weight.
This is me.
Still early. You want to maybe grab a coffee?
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you earn 2% cash back on what you want, like coffee, ping pong, a movie, karaoke, and 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
We just shipped our 1,000,000th monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
For far too long, millions of Americans have been strapping on uncomfortable work boots pushed by out-of-touch corporate types. Hey! To design boots and apparel that hardworking men and women actually want, you have to get on the job site and listen.
And that's why Brunt names gear after guys like us.
Apart from making our boots and apparel innovative, reliable, and insanely comfortable, we back all of our gear with a 30-day on-the-job risk-free trial. You deserve better. You deserve Brunt.
Try any of Brunt's gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
There's an easier way. With Thumbtack. Download the app today and care for your home from top to bottom.
It's easy to love New York, and it's easy to plan your getaway at iloveny.com.
If eating healthy's got you like, oh no, then it's time to switch it up with Hungry Root.
Hello, Hungry Root.
You'll be like,
my favorite.
Wow. And they'll be all,
This looks so good. Oh my gosh.
Healthy, easy, delicious. With Hungry Root, you got this. Healthy groceries and simple recipes delivered to your door. Plus, get free veggies for life at hungryroot.com.
Ma, are you sure you don't want to go bowling with us tonight?
Yeah, no.
There's my little marzipan. Oh, my daughter gives the best hugs.
We're just passing through on our way to the Jazz Jamboree. And we wanted to thank America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money. Mara, your parents are
exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
Let's boogie woogie.
The Brooklyn way is something that you can't describe. You just gotta know it. You gotta feel it. You gotta be here.
We give everyone the swag, the lingo, the culture, the look. We're just the sauce.
We got everything. Everything you want, we got.
To see somebody going after something and doing like what they love, it's easy to show love. And that's one thing about Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? It's a reflection of who we are.
Welcome back to the show, 1-800-919-3776. Before we get to the Knicks, let's take some phone calls. Let's go to Aaron in Woodmere.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
So this is going to come off as a hot take when I really don't think it's such a hot take. And I'm a firm believer that the Lions, at this point, should fire Dan Campbell. And not necessarily for the aggressiveness yesterday, though I don't understand why he didn't go up 17. But the reason you need to fire him is because I'm a believer that for sustained success in the NFL, you need to have continuity with your play caller and your quarterback. And the only way for the Lions to keep Ben Johnson in the building is to fire Campbell and hire him as head coach, because if not, he's going to leave. He's going to go to Washington. They're going to find someone new. I think a great example of this is in Buffalo, where the Bills chose to keep Sean McDermott. And again, I don't think Sean McDermott's a bad coach, but I think ask any NFL fan right now, they would way rather have Brian Daboll with Josh Allen still. And I mean, look at the disaster. And it's firing the coordinator in the middle of the year this year.
Yeah,
as a Giants fan, I'm very happy with Daboll.
But Aaron, what you're doing is you're picking the times where, I mean, should the Patriots have fired Bill Belichick when their offense when Charlie Weiss left? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That team loves Dan Campbell. They play hard for Dan Campbell. And although losing that coordinator will be tough, you deal with it and you get another coordinator. You don't fire the head coach.
Unless you think that having him is more important to the team than the head coach. And I don't think the Detroit Lions believe that. He changed the culture of that team. We could disagree about the play calling, although I think those are organizational decisions if they are analytical ones. But let's not forget where the Lions were before he got there. So he deserves credit for that. All offensive coordinators, as great as they are, come and go. Great coaches, head coaches, Michael, do not. And as much as I disagree with his decision-making yesterday, you can't deny of what he's done for that Lion team. And you would set them back decades if they were to let him go. Now, if you bring in a Bill Belichick or a Pete Carroll or something, but I think that would still be spitting in the face of a lot of good that he did. When he first got that job, we were laughing at him, the chewing knees. Next thing you know, they're beating the Packers and knock them out of the playoffs in Week 18 last year and end up coming to the whisker going to the Super Bowl the next. That is not somebody that you find.
It is interesting, though, that all the things that made him great to get them to this point were his downfall yesterday. You know, his just like maniacal, go for it no matter what, that hurt him. And I think it helped them in the long run build this team back to what it was. But I think he's got to find a happy ground.
Or do we overrate the aggressiveness? I love how we praise these coaches for being aggressive. Well, maybe you have a really talented team that if coached well could win. Like sometimes I think we give coaches too much credit, Michael. Like he probably changed the culture by getting them to believe in themselves, putting together a good program schedule-wise to get them on the straight and narrow. Oh, yeah, we sit there and go, oh, the aggressiveness has got them where they were. I mean, I don't sit there and watch every down of the Detroit Lions, but is that the reason why they went to the championship game? Or maybe he's a really good coach with really good players.
It's funny, NFL coaches, I think there's two important things. They have to be good motivators where people will run through a wall for them, and they also have to be good at X's and O's.
Right.
So I just don't. What's most important? I think if you're turning a team around, it's got to be a guy that can make guys run through walls. But then when you want to take that next step, you've got to be pretty good at the X's and O's.
I was going to say it's an interesting thing though with regard to the. It's an interesting thing with regard to the Detroit team in particular, though, because the offense is such a big part of what they do. Like I know you guys are right; they do play for Dan Campbell, but guys, you can play as hard as you want if you don't have an offense that puts up points the way they do, that their defense isn't doing it alone.
And the scary thing, though, is that the one thing that they need to improve on is their defense. It's not bad, but it clearly was the worst of the four teams in the championship weekend.
Correct.
And they're going to probably lose Aaron Glenn. So that's an area where they probably have to focus.
Well, where are they losing Aaron Glenn?
Well, there's talk that he may get a head coaching job.
Well, there's only two left. So if Johnson gets the Commanders and Quinn gets the Seahawks, the music stops.
All right. Okay, so then they won't lose him. But I think at some point they will. So if not this year, maybe next year. I don't see the Lions going away anytime soon, guys. I mean, Campbell's young. I mean, Goff is getting a little older, but I could see them in that division. I could see them being good for a while.
Mike in South Amboy. Mike.
Hey, guys, I just want to touch on the Brock Purdy thing. Based off of his numbers and his record, if he was the first overall pick and wasn't Mr. Irrelevant, had that stink of Mr. Irrelevant, would you be saying that the 49ers nailed that pick?
I hear what you're trying to get to, Mike, but if he was the number one pick, then what we're saying about him wouldn't be applicable. He'd have a rocket arm. He'd be fast. I mean, you would never pick a guy like Brock Purdy with the number one pick. So, I mean, the 49ers couldn't have thought that much about him. They waited till the last pick of the draft.
Yeah, it's so weird, right? I mean, we've seen Russell Wilson, Joe Montana. Those were third-round picks. We're talking about a seventh-round pick.
I mean, if Trey Lance doesn't get hurt, he doesn't even get a chance. I mean, we could say the same thing about Tom Brady. If Bledsoe doesn't get hurt, will we ever know Tom Brady?
But you know what? Trey Lance's injuries, but also I don't think could this coaching staff get enough out of him? They gave up on him because maybe they felt even with all that talent, we can't get where we need to go. Garoppolo, they moved on from him because they felt we can only get so far. I mean, so when the music stopped, Michael, Brock Purdy stood. So, yeah, he was the last pick. He was Mr. Irrelevant, but they stuck with him. It's got a Tom Brady-esque type of feel to this thing.
It does.
And again, we can't quantify it, but, God, this has been a very, very productive 2 years for a guy that was selected last in the league.
Artie, Fair Lawn. What's up, Artie?
Hey, guys. God, you guys are unbelievable tonight. From the time I wanted to call them, Michael, you want to replace Sam Darnold with Purdy, and you think that the Niners would be the same. That's absurd.
I didn't say I wanted to. I think that with that coaching, I think they'd be in the same spot with Sam Darnold.
I don't think so, Mike. You know what? Before he got hurt in the championship game the other year, he almost led him there. I don't know where you're coming from.
But you're right, Artie. You don't know where I'm coming from. So I thank you. I'm saying that such a great coach and a great system, that Sam Darnold's skills that he has, I think that he could take them to the same spot as Purdy can. I'm not saying that Purdy. Why is everybody hearing me say Purdy is bad? I'm saying that Purdy is not one of the elite quarterbacks in terms of talent.
And to your point about Sam Darnold, Could you be more polar opposite coaching-wise to what Purdy's had to what Sam Darnold had to start his career?
Oh, beautifully said.
I mean, my God. I mean, he had nobody compared to what Shanahan is for Purdy. So I don't know, Michael. It's tough. I mean, even with all the bad coaching, we saw Sam Darnold throw for 3,000 yards. I mean, there's ability there, Michael. There's no question. And with the right coaching, I think Sam Darnold would be a really good quarterback. Do I know he'd be the winner that Purdy is? Would he be at that level? I don't know.
Now, I don't know. I don't know if Shanahan can make anything out of Zach. I just don't know. And again, none of us know anything. We're surmising. We're guessing. Sam Darnold has a really good arm.
And Zach is, for all of his faults, Michael, there's ability.
Yeah, he's got skills.
I mean, I'm more convinced of it being the case with Sam than Zach.
Yeah, me too.
Even though, just because Zach has had so many times to show, he just doesn't seem to have, there's some mental piece missing. Sam just never got a fair chance in terms of the coaching early in his career. I think he would be able to fit right in there. But I also feel bad giving short shrift to Purdy, because just because you have some basic skills doesn't mean you automatically play for Kyle Shanahan and become a stud. How do we know? They weren't able to get anything from Trey Lance, but then again, he was always hurt. So
Mac in Randolph. Mac. Hello, Mac.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You got it.
I wanted to get your... Hey, what's up? I wanted to get your take on the Zay Flowers taunt the other day. Yesterday, I thought it was like the ultimate karma / you played yourself, where he taunted and then fumbled in the end zone. But I heard a lot of people saying that... I heard a lot of people saying they should get rid of the taunt rule, but I just felt like, especially what he did, where he actually pushed him back down, I thought that definitely should have been called, and I don't know, I had no problem with it.
If you get rid of the taunt rule, Mac, you're gonna have brawls, okay? And we talked about this earlier in the show. It's a disgrace what he did, but it's a product of allowing players to do what they want to do. Let the guys be guys. Let the kids be kids. That's not celebrating. That's rubbing it in another person's nose. And if you don't have taunting penalties, there's going to be brawls on the field. There just is. And you know what? He couldn't do it because Flowers is so important physically to that team. After that play, you take him out and you bench him. But you can't do that in a championship game. You just can't. So your hands are tied. But I think that what happened with that play is definitely a product of allowing players to do what they want to do. And then they get emboldened and they think that they could do whatever. Well, there's no excuse for what he did.
You got to still be able to have the chance to coach these guys. I understand that the players have a lot of power. It's not like it was back in the day, and you probably hurt your team if you bench them. But you can still coach him. Can't you have a conversation with him today at some point? All right, you see the issue here? You see how you can't do that anymore? Explain it to him. It is on the coaches to do it. I understand you can't necessarily discipline them the way you did, but you can coach them up to realize that as much fun as it is to taunt and to get everybody to pay attention to you, that you can hurt the team doing that.
I'm told. I don't have the audio yet. I'll get it before ENN. I'm told that he was excellent today. He took complete ownership, blamed himself for everything, and just...
Well, he should, because it is on him, and I hope that he learned something. He's
a rookie, and yeah, hopefully he learned from it, but it was in the moment. Oh, as the caller said, it was the ultimate congratulations you put on yourself. And the push down was terrible,
You know who else is not innocent in this? Travis Kelce does nonsense, too, when he catches the ball. Nonsense. Which borders on taunting. You can't do that either. The first down point, that's taunting. I'm sorry. The official is there to point first down. So when you do it right in the face of a guy who just caught the ball, that's taunting to me.
No, that is. I mean, by letter of the law, that is taunting.
And I don't know if you guys saw this. Lawrence Tynes retweeted it, that there was an incident before the game.
No, the Justin Tucker thing?
Yeah. So things like that.
Oh, no, they were. But you guys didn't see the video of that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, it was Tucker and, I mean, it was Mahomes and Kelce kind of messing with Tucker. It was weird.
Tucker was kind of warming up in the end zone, and then Kelce just took Tucker's equipment and kind of just threw it away. And according to Lawrence Tynes, he said it's kind of understood if you're there first. I guess it's during warm-ups or something. Tucker was there first. He should have been given the chance to move or to finish his warm-up. But according to Tynes, it seemed like that he was big-footed there. Oh, it's Mahomes and Kelce, so you're going to have to move. And I guess Tucker didn't, so he just took his helmet and whatever was by Tucker's feet and just threw it. That's kind of, at least from what I saw, looked kind of nozzly.
As we've been saying, there's a lot of nozzle in this Chiefs team.
There's a lot of nozzle in the NFL. According to Fox Sports PR, 56,691,000 viewers watched the NFC Championship game.
Holy crap.
So I'll probably beat the afternoon just because of the time, because they alternate.
Right.
So, and that was a great game, but I'm sure Chiefs-Ravens might have gotten even more of a look if that had been at 6:30.
That's the best NFC Championship game viewership in 12 years.
Wow.
Now, remember one thing, they have changed the viewership counting, where now they give you a certain amount for bar. That didn't happen like 15 years ago. So they add a little bit more people to you.
So they're not giving like a meter where you just happen to stumble into good lighting and you get a number?
No, I wish that happened in radio. Football Mondays on 98.7 ESPN are brought to you by Sloman's. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME to learn how you can have the Sloman's Shield professionally installed free. Sloman's, the difference is human. Speaking of humans, here's Peter.
Oh, well, this is me.
Still early. You want to maybe grab a coffee?
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you earn 2% cash back on what you want, like coffee, ping pong, a movie, karaoke, and 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night.
peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
Was proven better, getting more people clearer skin than the leading pill. Don't take if you're allergic to Sotyktu. Serious reactions can occur. Sotyktu can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Serious infections, cancers including lymphoma, muscle problems, and changes in certain labs have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, liver or kidney problems, high triglycerides, or had a vaccine or plan to. Sotyktu is a TYK2 inhibitor. TYK2 is part of the JAK family. It's not known if Sotyktu has the same risks as JAK inhibitors. Find what plaque psoriasis has been hiding. There's only one Sotyktu, so ask for it by name. So clearly you, Sotyktu.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
City Plays really helped me achieve my ambitions in football.
City Plays really helped us communicate by talking positively about what's happened during the game.
It is really important. If you set yourself a target, then you can have something to aim for and look to achieve.
It's helpful with my coach. He can see all my stats and help me improve.
It's been unbelievable, his development. Rather than didn't you do well, we can actually back it up with what has he done well.
We're all trying to put together the pieces.
And the wheels are turning.
This is a move you have to make. It's going to be a chess match. Yankees hot stove is back. A lot to talk about.
He's that important. He's that impactful.
Plus, you never know what guests will join us.
A little baseball news. The Angels have signed Aaron Hicks, but the Yankees still on the hook for $19 million. So he was with the Orioles last year, still has 2 years at $10 million left on his contract, $10 million a year. So the Angels giving him $1 million. The Yankees have to pay him $19. So he is on the Angels, Aaron Hicks. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Dave in Rochelle Park. Dave.
Hey, guys. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Before earlier in the show, I heard Peter say something about bad coaching calls, and I thought of the one with Pete Carroll not letting Marshawn Lynch run it into the end zone in the Super Bowl.
That's a good one.
I mean, that's probably one of the biggest ones. And I just wanted to say that. And then I'm a 49er fan, and to me, Brock Purdy is he's a good quarterback. He does a lot of good things. He's got a good throw, good arm for what he does. And I agree with you. The team he has behind him is big, but he's got the team behind him unbelievably. When they say the reason there is because of him, that's got to mean a lot.
No, I think he's a perfect guy for the perfect team, and I don't want people to think that what I'm saying is knocking him. I'm just saying that from a physical standpoint, I don't see the greatness that I see in a guy like Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. But if you keep winning, that's the only stat that really matters. What does it matter if he doesn't look great doing it?
We were talking about the comparables, and we throw out Tom Brady. The better comparable is probably Joe Montana, right? Third-round pick.
Not a great arm.
Not a great arm. And also, he was a third-round pick out of Notre Dame. Purdy went to Iowa State. So if Joe Montana went to Iowa State, maybe he would have been drafted even later. But coaching genius in Bill Walsh, and you go 4 for 4 in the Super Bowl. Now we'll see what Purdy ends up doing at the end of the day, but sometimes it's that combination. It just tells you really how important coaching is in this league, guys. So many talented quarterbacks go nowhere. And so many guys like Purdy and Russell Wilson and Joe Montana, they get drafted later in rounds and become unbelievable quarterbacks. What do they all have in common? Having tremendous coaching. You don't think Pete Carroll had something to do with Russell Wilson becoming a Super Bowl quarterback? And Bill Walsh with what he was able to do? But then you get guys like Dan Marino, who had all the skill sets, Don Shula, the winningest coach in the history of the NFL, and no Super Bowls. So it is kind of just trying to find the exact formula, just very frustrating.
Go to Hunter in the car. Hunter.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
I just had 2 quick points here. The first one is I didn't have a real problem with Dan Campbell's calls. My problem was that running call on the goal line, burning the timeout. I think that was a bozo call.
Yep.
And then being this line, that to me was one of the most crushing call or fan experiences. And it feels so far as a Jets fan. But it reminds me that the Jets were down 17-6 in that 2009 AFC Championship game against Peyton Manning's Colts. Obviously, the Colts scored 24 unanswered. But, that feels like light years away right now.
One thing that does show you, though, Hunter, and I think Dan Campbell articulated it yesterday, no guarantee they get back. It's hard to get back.
No, it's very difficult, Michael. What if Philadelphia gets it right? What if Dallas gets it right? We know how talented those two teams are, and Philadelphia's got a brand new defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, so it's not crazy to think they could be back in the fold.
What if my guy Dable gets it right?
I mean, the Giants, you hope are on the upswing, and in that division, I don't know what the Bears are going to get a new quarterback, so I think the Lions will be back in the playoffs. I'd be shocked if they weren't, but Dallas isn't going anywhere. Philadelphia is not going anywhere. Certainly San Francisco doesn't look like they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
Hey, Peter, I think I have something for your Hot 97 show.
Oh,
I think you have Wink Martindale as one of the stars of You Played Yourself.
Oh,
he sacrificed the $3 million so he can go wherever he wants, and it looks like he might not get a job.
Well, that would be
playing yourself.
That would be it.
I mean, the jobs are moving fast. He might not get a defensive coordinator job. So if you don't get a defensive coordinator job, you're not getting $3 million to be a position coach.
And you wonder, Michael, how much does that show you that Dable was the one that was in the right?
It's a good point because they probably investigated, what's going on here. And I'm sure Dable's not going to be singing his praises because, you get fired from a job or there's a parting of the way. They're always calling your boss. Right. They just always are. So they're going to have their say. So Wink can say, well, that's not true. But the guy who's the head coach, probably the guy who's going to be believed more.
But then again, all the more reason why he should have just fired him.
And he should have just taken the money.
Yeah, exactly. So $3 million in the grand scheme of things shouldn't put a dent in the Giants at all. But still, ended up working out perfect. He got to keep it, and it doesn't look like he's getting a job.
Don, is it me, or is it 30 years? And every time the ball on San Francisco goes to 44, I think it's Tom Rathman.
Isn't it crazy? Cool. It is pretty cool.
Why
I'm
does that
fan
happen?
of the 49ers, but you do have to respect that history. And as they with the exception of the occasional throwbacks that they wear, they haven't really changed the uniform at all.
Right. So some things they're just, if they didn't make the Hall of Fame or anything, you're just like, oh, I know those guys from the Super Bowl teams.
Oh, boy.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm just a little depressed.
What? Okay, hold on.
Because I'm depressed because the Lions should be in the Super Bowl.
It's so. When I started believing it was going to happen, I was so excited. I was like, this is crazy.
For a really cool town. I mean,
it was going to be so exciting.
And it was there, Peter. They didn't lose the game. It was there.
That's what kills you, is that Lions fans, when they were up 7-0.
And there were 35,000 people in Ford Field. watching it on the scoreboard.
By the way, every time they showed the crowd in San Francisco, there was a shocking amount of Lions fans, I thought. Every time they showed a crowd, I'd always see some. But the thing is, 7-0, they probably like, all right, that's a cool start, but everyone's still nervous. 14-0, they're going, okay. 21-7 and driving, they're going, oh, my God. We score again here, 21-7, driving. Yep. We're going to win this game.
Wow.
And they get the 3. They get it to 24-7. And to think they could have made it 3 scores again, I just really feel for their fans. And honestly, all of us were ripped off. If you're not a Niners fan, I have to imagine there are other people like me. I'm just sick of them being in the Super Bowl or the championship.
And now it would have been both number 1 seeds would have been knocked off. It would have been great. It would have been great. Hey, all right, business leaders, let's talk dry ice, shall we? Dry ice emergencies.
Oh, well, this is me.
Still early. You want to maybe grab a coffee?
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you earn 2% cash back on what you want, like coffee, ping pong, a movie, karaoke, and 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
Beautiful ladies, loving it. Beautiful family, jealous. Bride is the best day of your life. There's that smile. That's a keeper. Let's get the lucky men in here, huh? Oh. All right, we got it. Groom's bed. Okay.
Some days are just too important for a trashy suit. Rent from thebblacktux.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
You've heard our story, the one about measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. Run. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Sofa love seat combos, new mattresses and new sleep technology, new motion colors and new bedroom colors. I've even got new everyday low prices on trending styles.
Wait, I'm new. The sectional is new. New.
You got it. When you can have a new year for less, there's only one thing to say. Oh my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Show me what you're cooking. Oh, let me see the moves. You got the whole world looking like the scene kind of magic taking hold of
you. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Welcome back to the show. We've got a Super Bowl. It's the Chiefs against the 49ers. 49ers end up beating the Lions when Dan Campbell could not control himself, going for it on fourth down twice when he should have taken the points each time. And then the Ravens simply laid an egg. You can't fault their defense. They scored 17 points, the Chiefs did, but they didn't score in the second half. Lamar Jackson laid an unbelievable fat egg. And here we have a Super Bowl that I think is an attractive Super Bowl. The number one seed 49ers, the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. And I do believe that what we've seen over the 3 weeks so far in the playoffs is that championship pedigree counts. Knowing how to win counts. Knowing the big moment, how to navigate it counts. Because the Chiefs, after struggling for most of the season, came out in the postseason and they dominated. They dominated against a good Dolphin team in frigid conditions in Arrowhead. Then they went to Buffalo, beat a red-hot Bills team in cold weather in Buffalo. And then they went to Baltimore and beat what many consider to be a perfect Ravens team with everything you need to advance. And they beat them somewhat convincingly, although it was just 7 points. It didn't seem like the Ravens were in it. And the bottom line is championship pedigree means something. Having been there and done that means something. And you have to take that into account when you take a look at who you're going to pick in the Super Bowl. Now, the 49ers have been there. Brock Purdy is not, but a couple of their players have. They lost. But we'll see exactly how it plays out. It should be an interesting Super Bowl.
Yeah, and this is where it all started for Kansas City, right? Go back to that Super Bowl against the Niners where they scored 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter and won that title for Patrick Mahomes and really have never looked back. The one Super Bowl they did lose after that was to Tampa and to Tom Brady. Otherwise, we're talking about a huge dynasty. And San Francisco's been knocking on the door. This was probably the matchup last year had Purdy not gotten hurt in that Eagle championship game.
Although Aaron Boone pushes back on me, he said even if Purdy didn't get hurt, the Eagles were going to win.
Well, listen, he's entitled to his opinion, but it's a close game, and they were what, on their fourth quarterback?
Oh, yeah, they couldn't throw. Yeah, Purdy came out in the game, couldn't throw.
You know, based on what's happened the last couple of years, by the way, I'm sorry, Philly, you don't have a kick coming. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, everything that happened with that team was a miracle now.
Wow, strong.
I'm sorry. Turned out to be a disaster.
But Aaron Boone's entitled to his opinion. But
of course he is a great man.
I think I'd like to see that game played with a healthy Purdy. And now you see he's got a chance to go out there and you can't discount San Francisco, Michael. But I was the believer going in on Friday. I said sometimes what you really are eventually reveals itself, and the Chiefs did not feel like a great team. This does feel like the worst of the Chiefs teams that have gone to the Super Bowl.
I agree.
I mean, this is a team that had to play 3 playoff games, 2 on the road. You know, Mahomes never had to play on the road in the playoffs and had to win 2 playoff games on the road. And in real hostile environments in Buffalo and Baltimore. So, you know, they start to turn you around. They're like, okay, you know, maybe they are just as good. It just didn't catch the breaks or whatever during the course of the regular season. But in the postseason, this has been really impressive, and it's really hard to believe that this is where they're going to stub their toe against the San Francisco team that could have very easily lost to Green Bay and should have lost to Detroit.
Yeah, that's the key, Don. I mean, you watch the 49ers. They've been great all year. I mean, they had that stretch of 3 games that they lost in a row, but they righted the ship, and they've looked wonderful. But the 2 games in the playoffs, they have not shown much. I mean, they've shown a resiliency and a toughness to stay with it and win the game. But you could say that Green Bay outplayed them. And for the first half, I mean, they didn't belong on the same field as the Lions. And then Dan Campbell started to Dan Campbell, and it all fell apart. But, I mean, we wouldn't be shocked here if we were talking today about the Lions against the Chiefs, because the Lions had it. It was right there. Then their receivers forgot how to catch balls. And Dan Campbell decided, you know what? I want to hit on 18. That's what he did. He took a hit on 18. You stay. You take a hit on 16. You don't take a hit on 18. And you take a hit on 16 when the guy's showing a 5 or when the guy's showing a 10. He would take a hit on 16 if the guy was showing a 5. And that's not smart. It's just not smart.
Now, as much as we all wanted to see the Lions in there just because they are a great story and they had never been there before, this is probably the better game, right?
I don't know.
It just feels like...
I think it's a sexier game.
I don't know about that either, because I think Detroit became sexy with their story.
Well, the 49ers are a legacy team going for their 6th Super Bowl. There's something to that.
I'm going to say something that I shouldn't say.
Here we go.
And there was a time when we really shouldn't say it, but now, who cares?
Okay.
The thing that Michael pointed out earlier about like the Taylor Swift thing, and that there are these people being like, Taylor Swift is a Democrat, and so we hate Taylor Swift. So the funniest part is I actually watched a clip of my old colleague turned right-wing pundit, Charlie Arnold, talking about this on Fox News.
I saw this quote.
And she's like, you know, all Taylor Swift, she's a Democrat, and she's going to push people to blah, 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 and liberals already like her, blah. So the next couple of weeks, we have to root for San Francisco. And I thought, oh, my God, the irony's rich. I hate San Francisco. Nancy Pelosi's team. I mean, of all the cities you have to root for, San Francisco is the literal mascot of all liberal wokeness that everyone is scared of. So you have the people who are going to be like, I hate Taylor Swift. I don't want to root for her. You know who you root for? The 49ers. I just find this rich with irony. Or you could just be normal and root for the football game based on the two football teams.
Right, and make your decision on who you want to vote with real information, not because of a singer or an actor that goes one way or the other.
You're saying crazy things. Like for me, in this particular Super Bowl, I would like both teams to lose. That's
how
not
does that
possible.
happen, though? I don't get how that would happen.
It's basically impossible. So I truly don't know who I'm rooting for.
It must be so nice to be a champion and just sit back and luxuriate in the game and not worry about a thing.
I'm not worried about a thing. Well, you guys don't have to worry. It's over.
No, I don't have to worry either. You're right.
I'll be rooting for the 49ers. A couple of reasons.
Tell us.
All right, go ahead. Because there's a big Giants
I'm an
history.
NFC guy.
Okay.
And the Giants-Niners is one of, I had a top 5 on this. I can go back to the archives to see where I ranked it. One of the best non-division rivals. When you think of the big games that they played, championship games they played. And I feel like the Giants held their own. So I don't hate the 49ers like I do the Cowboys or the Eagles. And I'm kind of done with Kansas City. It's not somebody new per se, but it is in the sense that it's been a little while here.
Can I present an argument though?
Please.
So
and the Purdy thing would be cool.
The Purdy thing's fun, and I think Debo and McCaffrey are likable. I'll say this too. I'm pulling for Trent Williams to get a championship. I'd be happy. I'd be happy for him. Even Chase Young. He's not playing great, but he gets to be on a championship team from being in Washington. But I will say this. I have a tendency to root against teams winning championships because I always hope maybe one day my team will return to glory and become the greatest franchise in the league again. We have 3 Super Bowls. You Giants fans have 4 Super Bowls. San Francisco has what?
5.
6?
This will be their 6th.
So the question is, would you rather have San Francisco stretch and get to 6, or would you have Kansas City win now what would be, their 4th?
Do I have that right, Don? Do they have 5, San Francisco?
I think it's 5.
Yeah.
So it's 3 with Montana, 1 with Young.
They haven't won since the mid-'90s.
So maybe it's 4.
Do they only have 4? It doesn't change it, though. So would you rather... Both are going to add a Super Bowl to their total. Mm-hmm. It's picking your poison if you're one of those freak fans. They do have 5, I'm told.
Okay.
Yeah, because Montana's 4 for 4, and then Young got the other one.
There you go.
Okay.
So that's the 95 season. We're going on 30 years. Last time the Niners won.
Yeah, even though it seems like they're in the championship game every year because they have been for 3 years straight. So, I don't know. I guess I'll root for San Francisco, but they annoy me too.
How about my dad, guys? When my dad was alive, he always, because he hated the AFL, would always root for the NFC team, even if it was the Cowboys. Like, what are you doing? You can't root for the Cowboys? Like those Cowboy-Bills Super Bowls? What did the Bills ever do to me? Matter of fact, the Giants beat the Bills. So those next two after that, when they did the Washington one, then the 2 against Dallas, you going to root for Dallas? That's where my dad was. Hated the AFL. Hated Joe Namath. And everything about the AFL, despised it.
But by the way, you know it's another underrated...
Hell for my dad. If my dad went to hell, and there's no reason to believe he did.
No reason?
His hell would be sitting at the Polo Grounds watching like a Titans-Raiders game, like the New York Titans. That would probably be his hell.
Oh, his hell would be his son kissing Joe Namath.
Joe kissed me.
Well, there was kissing involved.
He kissed me on the cheek. You weren't here for that, Peter.
I've heard of it.
Now, Peter, I'm going to turn you into a television executive because I think you have that kind of mindset. Now, there are people that are split on this. I don't think it's 100% either way. The one negative that I hear about Greg Olson is that he constantly talks.
Greg Olson, yes.
Other people say, he had a really, really good game. He was great. If you're a Fox executive, do you actually move Olson out and put Brady in?
I obviously would have to hear Brady. But
I don't care if Brady is stuttering. I think Brady goes in. He's Brady.
Well, then why'd you ask the question?
Well, I'm asking you. I'm giving my opinion.
I think if Brady is competent, which I assume he would be, then yes. You get. Listen, I think this whole thing's ridiculous, and it could be on mute, and it would be fine. But since they spend millions and millions of dollars, then obviously it means something. So with all due respect to Greg Olson, who I can't, every time I look at him, I just think I see Bill Hader playing Stifler in a skit, and I can't get over it. He looks so much like a Bill Hader character to me. I don't know why. I can't escape it. But I think Olson's fine, but he is meant to be the number 2 guy in for Fox.
It's a big financial hit, though, because he makes $10 million in the number 1 booth. If he gets dropped to the number 2 booth, his salary goes to $3 million.
Well, that's so unfortunate. Oh, my God. Is he going to be okay?
Well,
what's going to happen to the Olsons? Done.
They got with Mary Kate and,
Yeah, between Mary Kate and Ashley and the fact that Greg probably netted his NFL career, I don't know, around $100 million. I'd say a cool $100 million, right? A Pro Bowler for basically his entire career.
I mean, but you're set up for your entire life right now, money-wise, and you keep working.
First of all, what you just said was a lie. Second of all, listen, it's just not. I'm sorry, I have to be real with you. Who cares about Greg Olson's ego in this? What's his other job option? You're going to go to another booth? Okay, go.
There are some people that said that the CBS should hire him and move him into the booth instead of Romo.
Well,
why are people so anti-Romo?
I don't know.
I thought I saw a poll. I don't know who sent it on social media. Like, which broadcast team in the championship games do you like more? And it was like overwhelming. It was Fox. Like 78%.
Wait, that was just in the booth.
Don't like Romo.
It didn't. I mean, because I think hands down, Joe and Troy are the best.
Yes,
I agree. National
but
football,
those two, people still. Burkhardt's outstanding.
He's not Nance.
No,
sorry.
But Nance is also somebody that I can understand if you're not a big fan. Like Nance is unbelievable, but I'm not a fan. Like his style to me doesn't work for me.
To me, Michael, I know it's hard for you to say this because you're friends with everybody. If you were to choose yesterday based on the sound of the booth, because of Nance, the CBS booth feels much more like this is a huge event.
Well, just because Nance has been around forever, and Burkhardt's only been doing NFL games for like a decade.
Correct.
I think Burkhardt has a pretty big sound. I know what you're saying just from the historical perspective.
But, it's built in. It's not Burkhardt's fault. He could get there one day.
I will tell you, full disclosure. We took the kids to the monster trucks over at the Rock yesterday.
Oh, that's big.
There's no way Jalen like that.
You would be correct, sir. It was her second straight year.
She's doing it for her brother.
There are 2 women that compete, including the Scooby-Doo car. They didn't do very well.
Oh, boy.
Or truck, I should say.
You hate to see that.
Marco watched it as if, it was his job. So I had to listen to the first quarter in the car driving home.
Who'd you get?
Out just at
Harlan vehicle?
No. Eagle.
Oh,
I would put Eagle in the booth in a second. Like his passion, he's so descriptive, and that's what I'm saying. Like Nance is elite, but for me, I think it's a little bit too golf for me.
So maybe Eagle has taken the NCAA tournament from Nance. Now you want him to take the Super Bowl and just leave Nance the Masters. That's what you want.
Because I'm going to tell you 2 things. Number one, I just think there's more energy. It's fresher. I think he's just better, in my opinion. And also, I think he'd get more out of Romo because the one thing about Ian is very underrated sense of humor, and I think that they would gel very well together.
SNL had the opening skit was on Romo and Nance, and the guy who did Romo was unbelievable. And then they did it was a terrible skit, by the way.
Yeah, it got
Oh my God, it was endless with not a laugh in it. But they had the CBS, the NFL Today crew, and they leave out Boomer Esiason.
That's not right.
I mean, they had Coach Cowher, Nate, Phil, and James. It was like Boomer Esiason doesn't exist. I mean, what are you doing?
I guess they just ran out of people.
Yeah, it's too many people to try to do.
Nancy watched it because Warriors-Lakers went into like double overtime Saturday, so she couldn't watch the news.
Right.
So she ended up watching the news on Channel 4, which is sacrilege in our house. But you wanted, I guess, to see the weather. So she ended up staying up watching Saturday Night Live. When I got home from Ottawa, she's like, it was the worst that she's ever seen in her life. I'm like, it can't be. She showed me one of
there
those
were a lot of skits that were awful.
And I'm a big Fallon fan and Timberlake, but they did the whole Bee Gees thing. It was like 7 minutes of the worst skit I've ever seen.
Also, they did a skit where you said the Bee Gees, and have Jimmy Fallon playing Barry Gibb.
Right.
And then Timberlake is Robin Gibb. Robin Gibb's dead.
No, I think it was Morris.
Morris is dead.
Yes.
Who cares? But what are you doing? It's not a funny bit.
They're all dead.
But who cares?
No, Barry's not dead.
But Barry's alive. But I don't think you have like a wealth of knowledge about the Bee Gees.
I watched it.
But is there anything about Barry Gibb that he would go off the rails and yell at people? Like, it made no sense.
No.
It wasn't not funny in the least. And I'm a big Fallon and Timberlake. I was like looking forward to it, and it was just like a political talk show. But they were the talk show hosts, and even his impression of Barry Gibb, which is very good, got lost in him screaming. It was brutal.
I only watched one skit from SNL, and it was pure brilliance.
Which one?
The looking back through our home videos.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
I mean, that was a stroke of genius, and that's all I saw.
But I mean, Lauren has to look at that. That was not a good show. That was not funny. I don't get the first part of the open.
Guys, it's 2024. This is not the first episode he needs to look at through this lens. And I love SNL. Like I actually think their cast is insanely talented and has been, but I can't sit here and pretend that most weeks it's not a tough watch at times.
Go to Norman in Queens. Norm.
Do it.
Big Norm?
Hello.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good.
I just wanted to touch on Dan Campbell.
Okay.
All right. I just wanted to remind everybody, let it marinate for a second. Dan Campbell, 2022 Lions, losing. He was crying on TV for a team that he knew could be better. Right. Forward 2023. He has a mentality to go for it every chance he gets. There's nothing wrong with that.
But Norman, there is something wrong with it if you're going for it at the wrong time. There is something wrong with it.
But that's the point of taking risks.
But there's a risk and a reward. I mean, even if they got the first down there, there's no guarantee that they would have scored. They would have been 28 yards away, so they still would have had to go 28 yards to get you had 3 points in your pocket. The only positive, Norman, would have been you ran some time off the clock. No, blind aggressiveness is not smart.
No, he is a great coach. I don't think anybody's questioning that. But I'm sorry, this thing of he's just aggressive. Well, there's a time to be aggressive and a time not to be aggressive. Clearly, he was of right mind at the end of the first half. Take the 17-point lead into the locker room. So you can't tell me it's always aggressiveness because he did the right thing there. But midway through the third quarter, a chance to go up 3 scores, guys. I'm sorry. And the kicker is good like over 77% of the time. You can't tell me converting on 4th down is going to be as high as that. And you also make a great point, Michael. Even if they get the first down, they take a few more moments off the clock, but they still might end up having to kick a field goal. Wasn't a guarantee that they were going to eventually get a touchdown anyway. So, but why do I feel like that caller is the reason why they do it? Oh, that's just what I am. Like almost taking the decision out of it. Oh, I'm just going to go for it. Because I'm aggressive.
The most egregious thing was running the ball on 3rd down when you're trying to save a timeout at the end of the game. He managed the clock terribly, and they couldn't catch the ball. That's why they lost.
Yeah, and they melted down right after that. Never mind the momentum you handed San Francisco. It was a gut punch. You created a gut punch on your own team that the defense couldn't get a stop after that, and then you fumble on the next possession, and then it was drop passes, and that game was cooked. It was cooked. And it was all because of a decision that you didn't have to make. He didn't have to make it. And I don't even want to give him credit for the aggressiveness, Michael, because this all might be analytically driven, and it doesn't matter. So we might be giving these guys cubes that they don't even deserve to get because somebody's there ear going, the numbers say go for it, coach. And then he'll play it off just like all of these coaches and managers do in sports, that it's their call to protect the yo-yos upstairs that do it by the book.
Let's go to John and Tom's River. Johnny.
Hey, guys. Good to talk to you. Back to Don's point, a little before halftime, the big point you guys forgot to mention was the 3rd down and 10 when they got 7 yards when they could have tied the game at 27-24, and they went for that one, too. Yep. That was just ridiculous. Yeah. So, I mean, you kick the field goal, it's tied. They go down and score. They're not down 10. They're down 7.
Right, you keep it a one-possession game, right? But that wasn't as egregious because maybe at that point, Michael, he's thinking the wheels are coming off here. I want to be able to keep the ball. I want to get a touchdown. I still don't do it. But to me, that's not nearly as egregious as the third quarter one.
Let's go to Maz in West Orange.
Michael.
Maz.
Most explosive passer in the NFL this year. That's on passes over 10 yards or more. 10 yards or more downfield. 20 touchdowns, 66 passer rating, 133 rating.
What is that telling me? You get the ball of Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel, and they run after the catch. You're not telling me he has a great arm, are you? Yep. He doesn't have a great arm.
Passes over 10 yards or more downfield.
So if you get the ball, any quarterback could throw a ball 10 yards. So he gets the ball 10 yards to Brandon Ayuk, and he turns into a 60-yard gain. It looks like it's an unbelievable.
That's what you're saying.
Maz, are you telling me that Brock Purdy has a good arm? I want to know. Are you?
Yes.
Well, you're wrong. Thank you for the phone call. You're wrong. He had Tommy John surgery. There's no way he has a great arm. Are you kidding me? He didn't have a great arm before he got hurt. You're throwing numbers at me. Best percentage. Does that factor in yards after the catch? Does it? Please.
No, but if he told me the stat was in the air, it's a different conversation.
The one thing that's accepted about Purdy is he doesn't have a great arm. And this guy, 49er fans are like Cowboy fans, Don.
They feel that.
Oh, my God, they're blind.
But don't give me 10, 20 yards. I don't care. You're going to be able to. Venus DeMilo can throw a ball 10 yards in the NFL. I mean, give me a break. The idea here, and it's not even the bombs. Anybody could do that. The arm strength is rolling opposite end, having to throw outside the hash marks. The strength behind that. And it's universally known that he doesn't have the arm strength as some other quarterbacks in the NFL. Plus, he's coming off a Tommy John surgery. So, fine. You can give me a stat about all the plus plays downfield. They're made by great weapons, and really doesn't take a lot of arm strength to throw the ball 20 yards, Michael.
Unbelievable. I need some time to towel off. Let's go to Peter now.
Glad you took that
time. Oh, well, this is me.
It's still early. You want to maybe grab a coffee?
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you earn 2% cash back on what you want, like coffee, ping pong, a movie, karaoke, and 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver. grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Beautiful ladies loving it. Beautiful family, jealous. Bride is the best day of your life. There's that smile. That's a keeper. Let's get the lucky men in here, huh? Oh. All right, we got it. Groom's bed. Okay.
Some days are just too important for a trashy suit. Rent from thebblacktux.com.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
What's yours? What's yours? I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun. Right. So what's your system? What's that? Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay, and how fast you can get started.
Icy hot. Ice works fast. Heat makes it last. Feel the power of contrast therapy, so you can rise from pain. Icy hot.
Sports. They connect us all. And with free mobile internet service from Maxip Telecom, it's easier than ever to stay connected. Young or old, rookie or veteran, now you can get 15 gigabytes of monthly internet totally free if you qualify through the Affordable Connectivity Program. Plus, receive a 4G Android tablet for just $20. Now that's a big assist. Call 888-348-3003 to find out if you qualify. Maxip Telecom, the official ACP provider of the Brooklyn Nets.
Teachers are skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world, expertly discovering solutions. Inspiring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready?
So Saturday afternoon, and all the emphasis was on Sunday's football games. Saturday afternoon, the Knicks, with about 4.5 minutes remaining in the game, are slapping around another top-flight opponent, embarrassing the Heat. And then Julius Randle drives to the hoop. The defender tries to draw a charge. Randle goes down, tries to break his fall with his right hand. Then the whole body weight goes down on the right shoulder. He gets the foul call. He's due to shoot 2 free throws, but he just gets up and runs and goes to the Knick locker room, which means that he's definitely out of the game. He doesn't even take the 2 free throws. And then you start to think to yourself that if you're a Knick fan, we can't have nice things. Because they have been so great since the beginning of January. And they have beaten legitimately good teams, embarrassed them. And then this happens. So there was a fear that Julius Randle was going to be out for the remainder of the season. And they did an MRI, and it came out today that surgery will not be needed and that he will miss a couple of weeks, not months. That is about as good a news as you could have, because the Knicks can absorb a couple of weeks, because in that couple of weeks, you're going to have the All-Star game, and there's time there to absorb it, and all you have to do right now is move OG into the power forward spot, move Josh Hart into the starting lineup as a small forward, and there you have it. You've absorbed the loss of Randall. I don't think you could absorb it for the whole year and have the Knicks do what they wanted to do, but that was such good news. I mean, it's still not definite, but the word is it looks much better than they thought, and it's going to be a couple of weeks and not the rest of the year. But, boy, you really had to hold your breath and get nervous.
Well, the good news is they've overtaken Cleveland for the 4 seed. It's only a half game, but still, they're in the 4 seed. And as you mentioned, Michael, let's say it's a couple of weeks. All right, you got a winnable game tonight against the Hornets, and then you come home for a long road trip. 6 games? Utah, Indiana, Lakers, Grizzlies, Mavericks, Pacers. I guess would you take 3-3 in that span without Randall?
Yeah.
So you win tonight, so then that's 7 games. You'd be 4-3. That takes you to at Houston, which you should win. That's February 12th. So that's 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So maybe you can get him then at Orlando, at Philly. Then it gets tough versus Boston. So if you can get him back, Michael, in a couple of weeks, and you can go maybe 4-3 over that span.
Yeah, I think you take 33 and 20.
Maybe you fall out of the 4 seed in that span, but you stay within striking distance, and then you get them back and see what you can do.
I'll tell you what, though, you take whatever happens, even if they lose all the games, which I don't think they will, because you would have no chance if Randall was out for the year. And I think people would have gotten a real idea of how much Randall means to this team if you took his 25 and 10 out every single night. So that could have been a devastating injury. The guy's been an absolute beast for this team ever since signing with them. He never misses games. A lot of people thought he should have missed games at the beginning of the year when he was coming back from the ankle surgery. He wouldn't. He refused. And the guy has played as many minutes since joining the Knicks as anybody. So this was startling. It was stunning. And I know I wasn't watching the game at the time, but I'll tell you what, I got nervous right away because it's, here we go. Because I don't think you can make a trade to absorb that.
No.
You just can't. You can't get Julius Randle before the trade deadline. So the fact that he's out just 2 weeks, and the fact that he's left-handed and it's his right shoulder also helps him a lot.
So let's just say, for sake of argument, he comes back after the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. The first game after the break is February 22nd at Philly. So you might have to play 9 games without him. I haven't paid attention. How much better has Memphis been with Ja back?
Well, he's out now.
I mean,
he's back out.
He's still out.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
So yeah. So you could beat Memphis. Yeah, because they beat Memphis without. Yeah.
And turn the net game into a 1-point game, and that's ended up winning over the weekend.
Orlando's 24 and 22 also, so not a complete pushover.
I want to throw this out there too, and I know
toss it out.
Technically works for the competition over at CBS.
Okay,
it's not the competition. Odyssey's not owned by CBS anymore. Go for it.
No, but he's on CBS Radio, and I hear him on the Fan on occasion.
Toss it out there. No, please.
But I worked with him a lot over at Sirius, but and I consider him a friend. Andrew Bogish got to do his first ever net game against the Rockets. I didn't get a chance to hear it, but I heard good things. So, congratulations. That's not nothing. That's pretty cool.
Now, speaking
that was a rare net win.
A rare net win. And by the way, the Nets play tonight. You can watch it on Yes. You can hear the Knick game right here on 98.7. And the Nets get back Ben Simmons.
Well, that's what they say.
What do you mean they say?
I mean, what does it ever mean, really? You know what I mean?
About Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
Well, he's going to play tonight. That's what it means.
Right, but for how long?
Well, that I can't say. I'm not a soothsayer.
And what does playing include? Does he shoot the ball more than 4 times?
No, he doesn't shoot the ball, but he initiates fast breaks, he rebounds, he defends.
Sure he does.
I'm sorry. That went over like a lead balloon. I apologize.
Wow.
Yeah, he's...
Have you ever heard of the work of Peter Schrager?
Oh, sure.
Right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
He's unbelievable. I don't know if you guys saw this. So he does a bit on the NFL Network on their morning show every year before the season starts. And he gives the two teams that will play in the Super Bowl. He has nailed it 6 years in a row. The beginning of the year, he went Chiefs and the 49ers. But he does it 6 years in a row.
That's something.
That's puff out your chest sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's like winning the pick segment 2 years in a row, being over 10 games over 500.
No, I think it's much harder than that.
I don't know. 10 games over 500.
So let's just think of...
You know what they say about Schrager?
What?
By the way? Always heard this?
He got that dog in him.
It's not nothing, Peter.
No, it's great.
I mean, all right.
Are you talking to me or him?
Is it that crazy a thought, 49ers Chiefs?
No. Not at all.
But to do it 6 years in a row?
That's impressive, no matter how you cut it.
So I don't think people had Rams Bengals when Cincinnati went to the... They had to go win in Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl.
That's tough.
Right? Chiefs Bucks.
I think he must be some kind of warlock. There's no way you do it.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6. So this is his 6th, right? So this is going back to Patriots Rams, Chiefs 49ers, Buccaneers Chiefs, Rams Bengals, Chiefs Eagles. So there's that. The only outlier, I guess, would be Cincinnati, just because they kind of came out of nowhere, right? That was the first year after Burrow got hurt. But even so, it's not like the NBA back in the day where you could just basically lock in Cavaliers Warriors.
Now, a lot of people are sending me things about Purdy's arm, right? This is from, I don't know exactly. Well, anyway, after all, Purdy has been the most accurate and effective deep passer in the NFL this season, according to Pro Football Focus. He's completed 22 of 33 attempts, 20 or more yards down the field for 684 yards, 7 touchdowns and no interceptions. Mahomes, Allen, and Justin Herbert generally are regarded as being among those with the strongest arms in the NFL. However, each is completing deep passes at less than 40%. Combined, Mahomes, Allen, and Herbert have thrown 9 touchdowns and 13 interceptions on pass attempts of 20-plus yards down the field. Okay, it's a good point, but you have great receivers. The pass that Ayuk completed was underthrown by 10 yards and went off the helmet of a defender, and it was caught. So it was overthrown. No, I think it was underthrown.
No, it was overthrown. That's why it hit the defender and bounced back to Ayuk.
Okay, so it wasn't a good pass.
But by the way,
wasn't an accurate pass.
But by the way, that I was thinking about it earlier. You realize that should have been interception is probably the difference between winning and losing that game.
No, Campbell would have gone for it again somehow.
Good point. maybe, yeah. Who knows?
It's the final week of Superbox Bonanza 5. Each qualifier will take home a $25 Fanatics gift card and have a chance at one of 10 Superbox prizes. Be caller number. Don, who was my favorite player growing up?
That would be Bobby Mercer.
Number 1. Be caller number 1 right now at 888-987-ESPN to select a box for the big game with a chance to win $500 in the first and third quarters, $1,000 at halftime, and a final score payout of $2,000. All brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey and the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey and Security Dodge. Come get some. So getting back to the arm stuff. So he has much better numbers on deep balls than Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Okay, so let's take the nerd stuff away. Because as Vince Scully once said, statistics are like lampposts for a drunk. They're used for support more than for illumination. So let's let our eyes do the deciding. Do you think Brock Purdy has as good an arm as Mahomes and Allen? Just asking for a friend.
Do you think Purdy has an arm like Mahomes or Allen? No.
But, okay, so Mahomes and Allen have decidedly lower numbers on deep balls than Purdy. So they're throwing these stats at me, again, to support their argument, but their eyeballs don't tell them. Mahomes can throw a ball through a wall. Same thing with Josh Allen, and same thing with Joe Burrow. But they're going to tell me that Brock Purdy has a great arm. I'm not saying he has a bad arm, but he doesn't have a howitzer, by any stretch of the imagination.
No, and also, it's a misleading stat, right? Because Brock Purdy could throw a lot of balls of 25 yards to Kittle or Ayuk or whoever it may be. And he's then in the same stat with Allen and Mahomes, who in their balls over 20 yards are trying to throw it 60 yards. It's just it can be a misleading statistic.
And also, did you guys see Kadarius Toney is melting down? Boy, does Joe Shane look smart trading this guy?
Has not played great for him.
I mean, wow. I mean, he went on Instagram Live and ripped the Chiefs. An expletive-laden statement.
Dude, you just had a child, right?
Right.
Go be with your kid.
Relax yourself.
I mean, it's one of the most wonderful things that can happen to a human being. You focus on something else, at least for a day.
Weird. Let's go to John and Brick. Johnny.
Hey guys, how you doing today? Peter, wanted to actually talk to you about the Royal Rumble on Saturday. Do you get upset at all with the WWE that they never ask you to be a guest commentator? Because I would wait with all of the work that you do for WWE, and it's a lot, plus a podcast. Why are you never guest commentating? I way prefer you over McAfee.
Whoa. ESPN on ESPN Crime. What are we doing?
Well, I mean, I didn't say that, John.
Yeah, but I mean, it was on our air.
You agreed with it.
No, I didn't. I thought Pat did a nice job on Saturday. I would love to one day get the chance to try to be at the table and do what Pat gets to do. Would I say jealous? Sure. I mean, the guy's had multiple WrestleMania matches. He was in the Royal Rumble briefly this weekend and got to do commentary. So I think you'd be crazy to not go, wow, that's really cool. But no, I mean, that's just not what my gig has been. And like Pat brings an entire other thing to the table that I don't bring. Like, do I think I could do as good a job sitting there and talking? Absolutely. I think I'd crush it. But Pat's a megastar at this point. He's bringing, that's not a thing I can, it would be unreasonable for me to compare myself to Pat right
All right,
now.
so I have a would you for you. I know it's on Wednesday.
All right, go ahead.
Would you?
And by the way, you know what they say about Pat? I just want to say.
What's that?
He got that dog in him.
But go ahead.
Would you sign on to actually go into the ring and take part in a match, and your popularity and fame would skyrocket, but there's a chance that you could be disfigured or crippled. Chance. Not that you would, but a chance. Would you take that?
Is there a worse chance than every time these guys and girls get in the ring? Because that's always on the table.
I understand, but they're incredible athletes. You're not.
No, I would take would I get to train it all for it, or I have to go and run?
Yes, no, train.
No, I'd do it. I'd give it a shot.
Really?
I think it would be I'd be scared. Even the Royal Rumble opportunity, like which what Pat did the other day, is he was sitting at the commentary desk, his music played, he got up, he went in, he looked at the giant Omos standing in the ring, who's 7'3", 350 pounds, and then he just climbed out of the ring and dropped to the floor. So he got to avoid any bump. The thing that scares me about ever getting to be in a Royal Rumble is I'm 5'8" at best. Do you know how high that top rope is off the ground? When they chuck you over the top, if you don't know how to do that, do you know how bad that landing would be, Don?
Oh, that's bad.
Hitting the apron before falling to the ground.
Oh.
It might be the end of me. So if I had the opportunity to train, though, I'd absolutely want to give it a shot.
Interesting. So an early, would you?
Be careful with would you, though.
Why?
Because the wrong person talks about it, and before you know it, I'm having phone calls with Brass about it can create lots of problems, I've heard.
Interesting. You had phone calls with Brass? We haven't heard about this.
Oh, I had a phone call with Brass last week.
About what? You didn't do anything wrong. It was all about me.
Well, was it about you? Because it was really me that led to things being about you.
Oh, I see. But many people thought that what you said, I said.
Exactly.
But I didn't.
But in the end, everyone was fine. And when asked, how does management feel about Peter Rosenberg, you know what they said?
Got that.
He got that
Yeah,
dog
he's got
in
that
him.
dog.
And I was like, thank you. Yeah,
A
appreciate
little
that.
slow, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, the timing wasn't.
No, it wasn't good at all.
I thought Michael would answer. I thought he was going to guess.
No,
Well, who's that on, really?
No. I knew you were setting up that drop. You didn't want me to guess. I've done this thing before. It's not on the first rodeo.
That's a good point. You are a professional.
And a really good one. Don, who's splashing in the tub today?
well, this is me.
It's still early. You want to maybe grab a coffee?
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you earn 2% cash back on what you want, like coffee, ping pong, a movie, karaoke, and 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Guys with bad jeans, are they worth it?
Jeans go with everything.
They go with nothing. Dudes, get the new Only Pant by Fabletics.
Awesome.
Want one pair of pants that does everything like magic? Breathable cooling tech. Always stretch. Secure phone pocket.
Bro, I'm in an Only Pant ad.
Water repellent. Work, golf, date night, hiking, biking. It's so everything.
See this stretch?
You forget about the deal you're getting.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get the Only Pant for $19 at Fabletics.com.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to CustomInc.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our Custom Ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at CustomInc.com.
Win big while streaming the Nets with Pick and Play on the Yes app. Make your picks before tip-off and win up to $10,000. What a move! Yes, Pick and Play. It's the game within the game, only on the Yes app.
Got a pocket full of cash to spend on a tropical vacation, sports car, you name it. Because with jackpots on DraftKings Casino, you can turn 10 cents into tens of thousands, even over $1 million. On roulette, slots, blackjack, baccarat, and more. Jackpot winnings are at 50 million and counting, and the next could hit any second. So score the latest jackpots offer when you get America's #1 online casino app. DraftKings Casino, the crown is yours.
City Play's really helped me achieve my ambitions in football.
City Play's really helped us communicate by talking positively about what's happened during the game.
It is really important. If you set yourself a target, then you can have something to aim for and look to achieve.
It's helpful with my coach. He can see all my stats and help me improve.
It's been unbelievable, his development. Rather than didn't you do well, we can actually back it up with what has he done well.
It's All-Star season in Brooklyn. And the stars are out. We got Mitchell, Wemby, and KD. We got Embiid, Steph, and Tatum. Yes, we got an all-star lineup. Nets versus Jazz. Tonight at 6:30 on Yes and the Yes app.
Download the Yes app and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, Pick and Play, and Yes rewards. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free.
Sheeran back here for the Michael Kay Show. The Brooklyn Nets desperately needed a win on Saturday, and they got it, holding off the Houston Rockets and picking up a 2-point victory. Now tonight, they will look to build on that when the Jazz come into Barclays Center. Utah is 17-7 over their last 24 games. The Jazz started 7-16 on the season. They beat the Nets back on December 18th in Salt Lake City, and the Nets are just 3-12 in their last 15 games. And this may be the return of Ben Simmons to the Nets lineup. For the first time since he was sidelined with his back injury, he was listed as probable on the injury report for tonight's game. Our coverage begins with an extended play pregame show immediately following the Michael Kay Show at 6:30. Opening tip comes your way a little after 7:30. It's the Nets and the Jazz. Coverage starting with the pregame show at 6:30 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
Now, Peter, you don't get any credit for that, but that's right. Yes, that's good. Yeah, you are not the point guard. It was Don.
Well, I didn't get it in because Don was going. He was in the Don mode. But all my that's it was to say was that's point guard. That's all I meant.
And you did eventually say that.
Thank you.
I also would like. I wonder if Fun with Numbers could do this and crunch the number. I believe Don overwhelmingly wins point guard on Mondays. Following football
on Mondays.
Wow, we should put him to work.
He's like, you mean what you're saying is Don's like a coach out of the bye who just every time that's Don. He wins out of the bye.
I just think that football is his hanging curveball, and he's got strong opinions about it. The other stuff he barely knows. So I mean,
you know what? He takes something nice and then he shoves it right
I
where
take
you
it
know.
from where it comes.
You don't want.
I mean, we do have somebody that does this every day that probably has those numbers, and that's
maybe.
Was that Anthony
Pusick?
No, I don't think he has it.
He
I can guarantee you he does not have that.
Maybe he wasn't so busy like saying caller 1, caller 2, caller 3.
I have every date, so I can go back and look.
All right.
That's a lot. Seems like a big effort.
I'll buy you dinner.
Shun Lee?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? You guys said it was closed. I walked by it the other day. It's very much open. What's wrong with you? Who said that?
Who said it was
Somebody,
closed?
remember, we were all thinking about going. Yeah, I heard it might be closed.
No.
Maybe on that particular day that we were talking.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. You sound like a crazy person.
I'm not a crazy person.
No, but let's do that. You know what
we never. You know what we never did.
We never had our holiday dinner.
Let's do it tomorrow.
I'm not. No, I can't. I've got the hot stove.
Oh yeah.
All right, Wednesday.
Wednesday's doable.
Potential. Although
here's the money move, Mike.
Yeah.
We asked Gunling to come in.
And don't tell Peter.
That's fine. You know what? I'd understand it. I'd respect it.
No, but you know what? We're above that. You're more than welcome to come because we think you'll add something. Wednesday, let's give it a try. I got no Rangers. They're on their All-Star break. So let's take advantage. So it's always the holidays on the K Show.
It's a great point.
So the Rangers right the ship on Saturday?
It's one game. You never right the ship in one game, but you know they scored 7 unanswered goals, all 5 on 5. You know, so they did check a few boxes, but you need a little bit more consistency. Did it with down 2 defensemen. Lingering was hurt. Trouba suspended, but it's a lousy team.
So didn't Dr. Steve get a check on his boxes on Friday when Igor was awful?
Not very good against the Vegas Golden Knights.
He was awful, I think is the word.
And I thought quick, or as they say, quickie, because hockey's got a little baseball.
Oh, I mean, tons. You kidding me?
Quickie.
I'm obsessed.
Do they call him
he
Iggy?
play well. Who? No, but Shesterkin?
Shesty.
That's horrible.
What is wrong with sports people?
It's a baseball, and I got to tell you, if you ask most hockey players what their favorite sport is, they'll say baseball.
Really? I'd love to hear it.
So I think it's a baseball thing. Hockey and baseball have a lot in common. Remember, that was Gretzky's favorite sport. Remember, they got him the big glove seat. Remember when he retired?
No, I don't remember that.
They got him like a big baseball glove chair.
I have no recollection.
You know, it's just like he likes to shove it right.
No, I have no recollection of that. He asked me, "Do you remember?"
I'm
just answering you.
Here's how I heard it. And I think Peter heard it the same.
I can't win.
The way you said it was, I don't remember, and I shouldn't have to remember.
Right, and
I also can't believe they gave him such a cringy gift. I had that same thing, and I'm nobody.
It was one of many things they gave him. I forget who exactly was the one that
It's
gifted
Wayne
to him,
Gretzky, for God's sake.
Wayne Gretzky's favorite sport was baseball.
Right. Oh, but I have the same gift, and I've done nothing in life.
Although, you know what? Remember the gambling stuff with the Senators that we talked about a couple of months ago, and he got suspended 40 games? Shane Pinto.
Yes.
Shane Pinto is from Franklin Square. And I interviewed him for the pregame show on Saturday. Michael, he couldn't have been a nicer kid. And so I leave the hotel to go to the game later that day, and I run into his dad, who's a big fan of the show, and big New York guy, big Ranger fan, big Giant fan. And I just thought I'd give it a shout out because it's a tremendous family.
Love the Pintos.
There was he got suspended and all that. It sounded like he might have been a little bit too free with his codes, and some friends took advantage of it. But he served his suspension. But just a great kid and a really local kid. Listens to the show. Dad listens
Peter,
to the show.
can we get the Pintos a meter? Can we do that?
I would love that.
I run into so many people who love the show, and they're meterless.
Oh, no, you have no idea how many people at the Royal Rumble talking about the game show.
It's amazing.
No, walking around in Tampa.
Yeah.
When
I was New York and Jay's.
When I was literally, it really is. When I was like walking down the aisle doing my hit thing, and like after I walked back, everyone giving me 5 was like, K-Show.
So how about this? So I'm in Providence, Rhode Island for another of Callie's cheer competitions.
Oh, you're a big cheer.
Yeah, 6 hours in the car round trip. It's a blast. And so I'm walking through the lobby, and a guy stops me and goes, I see Jody's carrying a pocketbook. I said, what? He goes, well, it's not a Gucci bag. Were you lying? I said, no, I'm not lying. She has a Gucci bag. He goes, and why is she wearing it? I said, she changes off. Another listener to the show.
Did you ask them if they had a meter?
Oh, of course they didn't. No one has a meter.
They don't.
That's weird.
Huh. Yeah, odd, right?
Funny how that works.
ENN coming up. You've been planning for this your whole life or what?
I'm ready.
But are you ready first to tell us about FanDuel?
Oh, you know me.
Oh, well, this is me.
Still early. You want to maybe grab a coffee?
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you earn 2% cash back on what you want, like coffee, ping pong, a movie, karaoke, and 2% cash back on what you need.
No. Just my shoe.
Like maybe shoes without laces.
Just my shoe, folks.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, hola, ¿cómo estás? She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
The most important tool on any job site in America is the one you wear on your feet for 40 hours a week.
Wait, what?
My name is Eric Gerard. I started Brunt Workwear in my garage for my buddies in the trades. The modern construction worker has different needs than they did 100 years ago. That's why at Brunt, our gear is designed by workers for workers with premium technologies like triple layer comfort, slip and oil resistant soles, and a triple layer waterproofing system. Go online for free shipping and try any of our gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy, too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
Download the app to stream the Nets and experience the game in a whole new way. With a live stat overlay to track your favorite players. Free-to-play gaming with big cash prizes. And earn and redeem rewards for gift cards and gear. So remember, if you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
It's All-Star season in Brooklyn, and we got all the stars. And the stars are out. We got Mitchell, Wemby, and KD. Kevin Durant is smoking hot. We got Embiid, Steph, and Tatum. Jason Tatum is going off. Yes, we got an all-star lineup. Nets versus Jazz. Tonight at 6:30 on Yes and the Yes app.
Show me what you're cooking. Oh, let me see them moves. You got the whole world looking like the scene, the kind of magic taking hold of you.
If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Welcome to ENN on T-Row. It's brought to you by Security Dodge. See Michelle Scalisian.
Come get some.
Yeah. I'd like to start off by saying good evening to Michael.
Prove it. Yes, prove it. Prove it. Prove it.
Really a lunatic. Good evening to Michael and Don.
See, he's in at 11. What time are you in?
I start working on the show at 9 o'clock.
Jerk.
You have to admit that was funny.
It was, but he's a jerk.
Good evening to Don.
There are 2 women that compete, including the Scooby-Doo car.
Good evening to myself. I didn't get it in.
Oh.
What was that even about?
I didn't get it in. Just now. When you were talking about you didn't get in the fact that I should have been point guard.
Oh,
that's right. A quick turnaround. Otherwise, you would have had a clean day.
I didn't get it in.
But that is big. So even if you had some things, maybe leading to the fact you couldn't get it in.
Good evening to the caller.
He got that dog in him.
I think that could make a run, Anthony.
Yeah, it's really useful.
He got that dog in him.
You know, what is the Thursday's February 1st? I mean, we're coming up on really got a lot of work to do, Anthony.
Month and a half. But he has a system in place, right, Anthony?
Yeah, I've been updating every week, so I've got my short list.
And he turned the stats around on the Mondays.
I was right, wasn't I?
God. Yeah. Was
9 football Mondays for Donnie. 11 overall Mondays.
Yay! Give us those stats overall.
Stand by.
It's 11 Mondays, and then Michael's at 7 Mondays. The callers and guests are at 10 Mondays. Peter's at 5 Mondays. Since the NFL, Don's had 9 NFL Mondays he's won.
Wow. You hear that, Don?
I hear you.
You said NFL Monday, right?
That's right.
We want to do a little NFL yesterday? You know what I mean? I didn't warn you that I was going to do that, but that's what I'm going to do.
We knew.
You did?
Well,
go ahead.
Still waiting.
Then go ahead.
This is
football. Yes, football. They're playing football.
The NFL yesterday.
Well, guys, it happened. That's right. The 49ers took out the Detroit Lions after a 24-7 lead for the Lions. All of a sudden, Jared Goff, his receivers aren't catching balls. His coach is making strange calls. It's calls and balls is what it comes down to. Here's the final call. What it sounded like on 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit, Michigan.
There's the snap. Purdy couple steps back. That's your ball game. San Francisco 49ers are going to the Super Bowl, and the Lions are going to go back home one disappointed football team. Two teams will meet out in the middle of the field to say job well done, job better done on this night by the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers, who are going to the Super Bowl, beating the Lions by a score of 34-31. Lions led this by 17 at the half, 24-7, and that lead just evaporated.
That is a great call.
Beautiful call for a
losing team. Yep.
Hometown losing team. That's a beautiful call. Now let's hear what it sounded like on KNBR. Okay, that's San Francisco.
Christian McCaffrey's going to his first Super Bowl. Brock Purdy's going to his first Super Bowl. Just back up here, Brock. Take 1 or 2 steps back. Back up. Go down. It's over. The Niners are going to Vegas.
Great pop of coaches while he's doing play-by-play.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that with the Yankees this year. Get back there, Aaron Judge. Reach up,
right.
Make the catch at the wall.
Come on, make the catch. You know what the difference? Jump. You know what the difference probably is?
He's not going to get ripped in the post?
Then they probably love and appreciate it.
Oh, he's big time. I mean, he was with the Raiders forever, and then they got rid of him, and it was an uproar.
Yeah.
And he went right to the 49ers.
Crosstown rivals.
He's the needed Giants pre and post on TV for a long time.
He's a star out there.
He's a nice man.
Let's hear from Brock Purdy. What was said at halftime to spark this big comeback?
No one was rah-rah. No one was freaking out. It was just, it's football. I feel like there's a lot of experienced guys on this team, veterans that have, been in crazy situations. And so everyone was like, all right, we just got to do our job straight up. Like, the offense has to move the ball. We got to put up points, convert on third downs, defense, get some stops for us. And that was really about it. There wasn't really much said. Kyle said a couple things. Fred said a couple things, but we kept it simple.
He's got such a tranquil face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he looks a lot like Harbaugh.
Now, let's hear from the head coach. Speaking of coaches, let's hear from Kyle Shanahan. What did he think about Dan Campbell being so aggressive on those fourth downs?
That's how they've done it most of the year, and I think that's one of the reasons why they were here. So, you win a lot of games making some of those decisions, and then you make some decisions and you lose them. I mean, I don't think it always comes down to that. There's lots of plays that happen in the game, but, that's the decision that we all have to make, and it doesn't surprise me because he's made a lot of those decisions throughout the year that have won them a lot of games also.
Donna, I don't get that argument. No two games are equal.
No.
So being aggressive in Game 3 of the season is completely different than the NFC Championship game. Why is it okay? Because that's what he does.
Now, they were division champions. I would think they were probably the favorite in most of their games during the year. And here they are in the championship game on the road as a touchdown dog with a chance to make it a 3-possession game. I'm sorry, you can't go back to what you did against the Bears in September. It doesn't apply. It doesn't. I know you got to try to keep things in perspective, and it's just a football game, but sometimes you got to understand the magnitude of the moment. You're an underdog in the championship game with a chance to go to a Super Bowl. I'm not going to go through my resume of games in September and October and how I handled that situation.
You know what I'm going to compare it to?
What's that?
A boxer. Remember boxing?
I do.
I used to have him all the time at Boardwalk Hall, Trump Plaza, beautiful plaza. So picture a fighter,
if you will,
who's an up-and-coming underdog. So far, their style has been just go for knockouts, and they score knockouts. But now they're up against someone who's just an absolute
beast
dog.
He got that dog in him.
Right? And you have a chance to take the title from this champion.
Right.
And you're up on the cards. All along, your whole style has been getting knockouts. You've gotten some 4th-round knockouts, some 6th-round knockouts, 7th-round knockout. Here you are now. It's a 12-round fight. You're up on the cards. This fighter's dangerous. In the 11th, do you keep pressing? That's always been what you've done.
No.
Or do you just stave them off to win on the cards? All he had to do was hold them off at that point.
Anthony, can I request something that's never been requested?
There we go.
Sure.
I think that's the point guard.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Requesting a point guard in the 6 o'clock hour? Never been
No, I mean, to take away Don's and
just take it away.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's up to Anthony if he deems that necessary.
But listen, it's true.
Well,
sometimes you got to change your approach.
Well, he wasn't the favorite, but it's kind of what did in Apollo.
Keep going.
Right? The advice was stay away from him. He can knock you out, but he wanted to get the knockout Apollo. He didn't want to win by decision, even though he was up. If he just stayed away from Rocky, he would have won.
Instead,
he
wanted to go for the knockout, got too close.
Mm-hmm.
Don, you know that's fiction, right?
Whatever. Sounds like hate to me. Here's Dan Campbell on the loss.
It's hard when you lose that way. It's hard. You feel like you get your heart ripped out. So, but I'm proud of that group, and I'll go anywhere with that group. You wish you could keep it all together, but that's not the reality. We did some really good things, but today we didn't do enough, and it's tough.
I wonder. I heard Rex today say he was part of 3 championship game losses, 2 with the Jets and 1 as an assistant. I wonder if it's tougher to lose this game than it is to lose the Super Bowl.
I think it's tougher, way tougher to lose this game. I mean, there's something about going to the Super Bowl, right?
Right, you could always say I went to the Super Bowl.
The Lions never went to the Super Bowl. And what that attention brings for 2 weeks, to be able to say you played in a Super Bowl. Like, I always hear that from people that aren't Giant fans. When they were crushed by the Ravens in the Super Bowl, I would hear people say, geez, you probably would have just rather lost in the championship game to the Vikings. I'm like, no, I went to a Super Bowl. Who doesn't want that opportunity, especially the Lions who have never been, Michael? I think that would have been a big deal to be able to build off of. Just going to the championship game was a huge deal. And then the way you lose it, that's the better question, Michael, is would you rather lose it that way or just not being good enough?
I'd rather get blown
by 3 touchdowns. I think it's easier to recover from, but God, those Lion fans must have been having a ball for like 3 quarters, right? I bet you a few of them were probably on the phone booking flights to Vegas.
And also, who's the wide receiver on the line? I think a wide receiver waving to their fans. I mean, that's along the lines of Zay Flowers. I mean, stop. Everybody's got to stop being such a jackass.
One more thing from Dan Campbell. We know that he's okay with the 4th down conversions, what he does. So, Coach, what did go wrong in the second half?
Honestly, right now, I can't put my finger on that. That's not like us. We had plays to be made that we just didn't make. We normally do. And so 4th quarter, you feel like we're going to get it back, and we just couldn't quite get over the hump. And that hasn't been us all year, and it showed up today at the worst time.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson, defender.
Right.
He's the one who waved. What does he feel now?
Yeah, who knows? These guys, they don't.
Yeah, they have very short memories, which I guess is good.
Well, there's this, I don't know if you want to call it a culture, but there's that feeling of it's just who I am. That's what I do. So it really gets them up from ever being analyzed, right? Like that seems to be where we get with analytics now, with the younger generation. It's just, this is the way that it is. And if you try to criticize me, you can't, because this is who I am. And that's why it's always, I'll do it again. That's why Campbell has, I will do it again. Because don't criticize me. If he says I made a mistake, then he can get attacked even more, and he admits failure. This is just like, hey, it's who I am. I'm an all-aggressive guy. I do it again.
It sounds familiar, Don.
But I don't want to use this word because it's Michael's word.
Performative.
But sometimes it's performative.
Wow.
Sometimes, not all the time.
And let's be honest, our picks generally are reindeer games relative
not
to
for you. You're great.
Well, I'm a 2-year champion, but I'm still not the kind of guy who gets up and spins the ball. And I will say, the Zay Flowers thing, what really drove me nuts is that he pushed Snead's shoulder down. I've never seen that.
That was aggressive. The drop of the ball we've seen.
It was still rude.
Yeah.
It was still very close to him, but the push to the shoulder was crazy. Now, Snead is such a stud, of course. He literally just gets up, does nothing, except a couple plays later, knock the football out and end the game, essentially.
And you can't say, you said earlier in the show, definitively, that didn't have anything to do with the fumble.
You could tell me over and over again, nothing to do with it, nothing to do with it. You just don't know. Here is Zay Flowers on that moment yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like I got another step. I feel like I could be one of the best receivers in this league, and I'm not going to let one moment define me, so I'm going to just use that and use it as a slingshot.
I thought you said he took ownership of it.
That's what I read. Was that the only clip you saw? I saw a quote from JP Finley, who was in the locker room and said he was really impressed with him taking full ownership of what happened.
Let me say what. That will define him moving forward unless he goes on to win a Super Bowl. That will be the defining moment of his career. As great as he was this year.
Well, hold on.
It will.
If he doesn't win a Super Bowl?
If he doesn't get past this point, that will be the defining moment of his career.
If he has Don, let's say he's in the league 8-9 years.
Right.
And he has 5,000-yard seasons and Pro Bowl appearances. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, that will not define him. That's strong.
People always go back to it. You could have been in the Super Bowl if you didn't do this. He's not going to shake that.
I disagree.
You won't.
Quarterbacks, I think, get defined by things like that. A receiver is a rookie doing a stupid thing. He didn't single-handedly lose them the game, though that was a really bad moment.
If he makes that catch and doesn't taunt, you don't think they win the game?
I think there's a good chance they win the game, sure. But there's so many other stupid things. That game was just such a poor performance. Can I ask a question? Did they also at any point go for it on fourth and not get it? Or was it just that was the big moment where they could have scored and didn't score?
I don't remember
that. And then the pick in the end zone.
And the pick in the end zone.
There was a lot of things that went wrong, but that's...
The pick was... We know down when the pick was on? Was the pick on third down?
Yeah, it wasn't fourth.
It wasn't fourth. Okay.
It's funny what people don't get up from. Like Leon Lett never got up from, and that was a game they won. Like, there's certain moments that just seem to resonate. We'll see if this does.
Linemen are in a tough spot, though.
I do agree with Peter. If he ends up having a brilliant career, never goes to a Super Bowl, he might do a lot of other things.
Well, and if he's a good guy who isn't known as being that guy.
And also, what Leon Lett did was kind of special. Believe me, there'll be plenty of nozzles.
Well, let me ask you guys this. I mean, and this is just, you're just guessing. Yes. You think Flowers will ever do that again?
Not to that extent. Will he point first down or whatever the things do you get, but I don't think he'd physically push somebody down the way
he will stand over somebody after he makes a catch, and he definitely will taunt them.
Hey, listen, let's be realistic, guys. There are levels to being a Nas, right? Like, that's an in-game, nozzly thing to do. Does it ever... We brought up Kadarius Toney earlier. And in full credit to Ballard, I remember when they drafted him, he was on me like, dude, this is a bad guy. He was like, I cannot believe the Giants drafted him. The story of him and the guns is so bad. And it really is. Isn't it crazy, though? The mistakes the Giants have made given the, quote, giant way. After the Baker thing happened, they drafted Kadarius Toney after the Baker thing happened. And all the stuff on Toney was out there, that he was a bad guy. And they went for it, and he was a bad guy. And now you're seeing little things today. Still a bad guy. I don't know, man. At some point over the last few years, there's some element of the Giants that have lost their way. They haven't with Saquon. Right. They got it right. Like, he's an ace. Jones seems like a really good kid, too. But, man, they've had a couple of spots that you go, what were you thinking?
Well, because there is no Giant way or Yankee way. It's all winning way. When you win, you do it right. When you lose, you do it wrong. And when you lose, you start chasing after your losses, and you start taking chances on players you normally wouldn't take a chance on.
Because you're
desperate now. So there's winners and there's losers. There's no way.
But Don, I would battle you on this. If you have a way and you stick to that way, you will win more than you lose.
True, but I mean,
I think that when you start to lose, you deviate from that way.
True.
You reach.
But I do think that, if you go back to some of the worst moments in Yankee history, it was probably during losing.
Yeah.
Right? The Steve Howe situation, the Luis Polonia situation.
The George stuff.
George stuff, it was like during losses, and you start kind of chasing after it a little bit. You start to win, and then you can kind of dictate the players you want. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? I get it, Michael, but I think there's winning ways and there's losing ways. And these franchises that all say, well, that's not the 49er way or the Patriot way or the Celtic way. Well, how do you explain that one little period when you were losing and all that wacky stuff happened? I do think it's these teams that are like, this is the way. Well, when you start losing, all of a sudden there is no way.
But you might start losing because you go away from your way.
Was
Charles' way part of the Giant way?
Charles Way came about just after.
But he ended up being a good guy, right? He was part of their
good guy, but he was on those like mid-90 teams was when he was like in his prime.
But wasn't he part of their organization too?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. He was a coach.
John Harbaugh reflecting on the loss and the season.
It was a team that had a lot of challenges. You know, I don't think it was a team that was too highly touted coming into the season by pundits and the prognosticators and all that. And I think they proved a lot of people wrong all year. Quarterback made a statement all year. The message is to eyes straight ahead, your chin up, your chest out, and understand what you did accomplish.
On the Flowers fumble,
we coach two hands when you reach for the end zone. He had two hands on the ball.
and Lamar on the big interception in the end zone.
I see Temple too, and I see both of them trailing him. And I didn't want to throw it all out the end zone. I just tried to let him turn around and make a play. I thought it was going to be PI, but it is what it is. The safety made a great play and made an interception.
He's still optimistic on the future, though, Lamar.
Oh, I'm not frustrated at all. I'm angry about, losing. We're a game away from the Super Bowl. We've been waiting all this time, all these moments for an opportunity like this, and we fell short. But I feel like our team, we're going to build. This all season we're going to get right, get better, grind, try to be in this position again, but on the other side, a victory.
You know who played very well in the second half? Odell.
Yeah.
He busted it, and he made some catches and kept the game alive.
And he was also the guy on the bench with his arm around Lamar and Flowers.
Yes, he did.
It's interesting. You never know what's going to happen with the guy, but guess what? There's a big piece to why Odell's able to be that guy. He got to go win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're no longer just like the talented veteran. You're the veteran who's a Super Bowl champion as well. So let's hear what it sounded like on 106.5 The Wolf in KC.
A flip by Richie James Jr. That means this game is over, and you can doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike the Chiefs. You can disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs being the AFC champions for the fourth time in 5 seasons. The Chiefs have the Lamar Hunt Trophy, and they're taking it to Vegas for Super Bowl 58.
Bit much.
Yeah, a little much.
Not for me. Here's Mahomes on being an underdog.
Yeah, it was cool. Just going into 2 hostile environments, having to come together as a team and to win those games and hold that trophy. It really was special. But if I had my choice, I'd rather do it at Arrowhead. So we'll try, after we go through the Super Bowl and hopefully win it, we're going to try to get it back at Arrowhead next year.
And on getting back to another Super Bowl.
You don't take it for granted either. You never know how many you're going to get to, if you're going to get to any. It truly is special. Just to do it with these guys after what we've been through all season long, guys coming together, it really is special. I told them, the job's not done. Our job now is to prepare ourselves to play a good football team in the Super Bowl and try to get that ring.
Are you ready for it?
Taylor Swift Watch.
Kelsey finds a blank space.
And I'll write your name.
And guys, how do you not mention the story that's going to be one of the big stories leading into the game? Will Lorvis be together on Super Bowl Sunday? Will Taylor be able to get back from Tokyo to make it to the Super Bowl?
Well,
I'd like to say yes, she will.
Well, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the work of Danny Backstrom, the weather woman over at
any relation to Nick
Channel
Backstrom.
7. She's a big Swiftie, and she did the math. She can make it.
She can make it with plenty to spare. She can make it and have lunch on Saturday.
It's a 12-hour flight. If she sleeps on planes, she's
and
good.
you also gain a day when you come back.
Right. She will gain several hours. Yeah,
she's going to be just fine. We'll be seeing Lorvis.
But then she's got to go to Australia right after.
She can do it.
I know, but that's she has a few days. That'll do it for ENN, brought to you by Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their starting something new sales.
I also don't think she's like the baggage carousel waiting for her stuff. I'm just saying.
Some people don't sleep on. I can't.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, our coverage of the Nets and Jazz gets underway with the pregame show. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.